Hey, we are live. We've decided to go live. We're still waiting for Matt, who seemed to lose or just take everything off his computer on the weekend, and he's forgotten to. He didn't have the Google app on his computer, so he's loading that up, and it's on 37% about 5 minutes ago. So we decided to go live anyway. So there's Patricia and Judith with me so far.
Good evening.
Hello, girls.
Good evening, Patricia. Good evening.
Yeah, we kind of thought that the chat room had been waiting long enough for us to go live. Until Matt comes on, we thought we'd play a couple of videos, but it just depends whether my computer's going to play them or not. So I'll have a go at playing them. I made a... Judith, talk about your video that I copied. Yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, it's the sunset. Yesterday. Great video. Yes, I was picture this.
It's already lagging. I don't see it. Oh, I wonder if it's going to do it. Let's stop it there. It would be great. I'm just going to play it and see if it actually plays.
Oh, great.
It's lagging. If I make it a bit smaller. It's lagging. It's so annoying. It'll be really annoying if I play it like that. If I make it a bit smaller.
It's take a minute.
Let's see. It's just going to do it again. Right, it looks like it might do it. So we'll just play it then. Bit disorganised tonight, guys. Anyway, here we go.
Here's some images from Stan Smith.
Play.
From the 360 team's cameras. It shows the moon's path.
We can't. It's going to be annoying.
Appearing to come from out of the ground.
I'm really sorry. Just my computer, the Hangout just takes all the bandwidth of my computer, really.
Can I share it?
Oh, he says it's at 86% now.
We turn back in. This is
I can't just play the music, can I? Or just let it play because we need to watch the video.
The 360 camera. You know, you're seeing more.
That's can't. It's just it's too jumpy. It's not even just playing it, is it?
Today I tried
maybe if I take them off. Maybe I'll try taking a couple of pages off. Let's take that one off as well and see if it plays it now.
Here's some images from Stan Smith and the 360 team's cameras.
No, isn't that boring? So sorry.
It shows the moon's path. Appearing to come from out of the ground and we turn back in. This is a 360 camera. You know, you're seeing Loss on the left and the extreme right, and South directly in the centre. See, again, we're getting this path of the moon rising up and coming down and vanishing. Which, you know, you watch the 360 cameras, it does appear like
a bit frustrating.
They're going underground, below you, following the, you know, the trajectory that they're on. These have yet to be.
I'll put the Hangout down.
Then.
Yeah, thank you very much. much to Judith Baz for this recording, and obviously I'm going to relate Stan Smith's work into Judith's work in a minute. I think it will become apparent as the video plays, but I wanted to put all of Judith's video in, or most of it, because every day Judith goes to the beach and she records the sunrise, the sunset, and taking pictures of the stars. She's just as dedicated as Stan and everyone else. You just may not know of her as much. And of course, then we've got the wonderful Stan and all his work. But this is the most amazing video. Thank you so much, Judith. Look at the colours in, yeah, just look at the colours in that. I mean, that in itself is quite an amazing bit of footage. It kind of looks like a bit like an eye around it when you see the sort of fields around it. I mean, the sun's changing colour as well, obviously, as it's, I can't call it setting anymore. I don't know what to call it. Loss? No, I mean, it still looks like a disc at the moment, but it's going to change shape in a minute. And yeah, it's quite amazing. Anyway, it's starting to sort of change shape a bit already, and Judith's panning in. I don't know how many miles away this is, but I assume that she's not completely zoomed in on her camera. I just don't get that feeling that she's zoomed in 25 miles away. 10 maybe miles, 15 miles. Maybe she's seeing as far as, I'm sure she's recorded this a few good times before. And already the sun is starting to change shape.
Incredible video. Yeah.
Incredible. The sun is starting to disappear in front of our eyes. That's what's happening. The sun is not setting. It is not going across the plain. It is disappearing in front of her eyes into the sea. Well, I'm not even sure if it goes into the sea. It's electromagnetics. But I mean, look at the shape of that. Now, that is quite often how I see the moon appear for me. The moon appears in my sky like that. I've repeatedly told people that it just looks like a curtain's opening and then it comes out. Rose, don't mess around now. This is the sun setting in Israel. But my moon appears like that. Now her sun is leaving like that. We live in our own perspective bubble, which sort of again correlates with the stuff that Stan Smith does. And at the end of that perspective bubble, that's where everything obviously changes. So this is kind of a 360 of your perspective bubble. And those are lines which Stan puts the moon and the sun on and tracks it. But in reality, this is what's happening to this sun as it's disappearing in front of our eyes. I mean, it's not even a disc, is it? We live in the most amazing place. It's almost unreality when you see this. I mean, look at the shape of that. Where's the disc gone? In fact, the sun's changing shape, and that's because this is happening. So the sun is getting to the end of one of these tracks in your perspective bubble. Because I'm sure if you went higher, you'd see the sun for longer because then your perspective bubble is bigger. again, this is the reality of what's happening with it. And every day, think about it, guys. The sun takes all that time to go over your head, yeah, just like that. It happens for everybody, the same. Crazy. And then there you go, just look at that shape. Not really a circle anymore, is it? And you see that you only see these things when you actually film them. We would never notice these things because, oh, it's just the sun setting. But look, it's going, it's whatever you want to say, going into the ground, going into the sea, disappearing in front of your eyes. But that's what's happening. This is what's happening. That's Stan with his virtual reality goggles on in 360. And again, it doesn't matter which way it is. It's just the fact that you get the arcing up and down and it's all going over you. So if you took pictures intermittently in the sun of the day, that's what the sun would be doing on those tracks. Now, look at it. It's not going across the plane. That thing is disappearing in front of Judith's eyes right there. I mean, it kind of is turning into a wave. You can see it sort of moving in the picture. It's kind of like a wave. Look at that. It's happening 10, 15 miles in front of her. Give or take a mile or two, approximately. There you go, look. And this is what's really happening. The Stan Smith 360 goggles to see it like this. This is the same perspective that's happening in that video. The sun has got to the end of one of these. I'd just like to thank Stan Smith for all the work that he does. Every day he's like Judith, filming, recording, uploading. Judith's the same. Every day to the cause, to help us, to record this stuff. I mean, but just look at that. Look at that. I don't even know what is happening here because the sun is just disappearing. It's not going into the sea, is it? But it is. Look at this. I just think this is a really, I'm sure Judith's filmed this quite a few times. But I just wanted, you know, like I was actually going to bed and now I find myself staying up late and making a video. I kind of had to because I can already see Stan Smith's work. Even without the 360 camera, the same thing's happening. That sun is going down just like that moon would in those pictures, going into the ground. It's disappearing just there. And then nothing. Because this is happening. Look, nothing. Anyway, I wonder what your thoughts were on it all, because obviously I've made that because that's what I can see in this video. It's amazing, the place we live. Anyway, the sun has gone now. There's that beautiful beach in Israel. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video and the work of Judith Baz and Stan Smith.
Great job, Karen.
Well, your work, just putting it together on a video.
Yeah.
You see this quite often though, don't you, Judith?
Yes, yes.
I
Of course.
actually asked Robert Forsh. He says he sees it as well.
Yeah, I was lucky because the sky allowed me to picture the sun like this. Usually the sky is so ugly, so I can't picture the sun like this. So yeah, it was
So
very
what does it make you feel like when you're actually watching the sun disappearing? Well, it doesn't actually go into the sea, but it's going, whatever's happening there. What does it make you feel like when you can see it disappearing like that?
I know when I was in the airplane, so I see it very clearly. The sun just disappeared because it it's going far away, and it doesn't touch the water because when you go in higher with the airplane or even a parachute, you're still going to see the sun, and you're going to see clearly that the sun doesn't touch the water. It's just disappeared far away, and yeah, very clearly.
I've got another one. Hopefully, my computer will play it. Where actually Sky Viewer sent it to me, so it's the same sort of thing as the Udit's one. I'm going to play this one.
Great.
I sent it to you earlier on, Udit.
Yes, I watch it. Great video.
Okay, everybody can see that then. Right, here we go. Let's hope it plays it. We don't actually need any volume for this one.
Yeah, who pictured this, Karen?
Sky Viewer.
Hmm.
We don't need any volume for this one, although I did put the volume on. I'm sure I did. I didn't, but it's just background noise. There's no... Oh. Yeah, there's no music or anybody talking. They're just showing the video.
Yeah, it's showing me that the sky it's the same as my sky, kilometers.
It looks pretty close though, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is what Nikon P900 do. It's bring to our face the reality.
Ooh, I haven't got...
Incredible camera.
It's the same shape as yours, isn't it, Judith?
Yes, yes.
But this time, this one's not going down over the sea. This one's going down over land.
I love
Crazy,
picture
isn't
the
it?
sun like this. Yes, I love it.
Crazy.
I love it. I can't breathe when I see this beauty.
Oh, just wait. If anybody hasn't seen this video, just wait and watch what happens to his son. I think it shocks him. It makes him like hold the camera up, and then he goes back, and then of course it's completely gone. It's when it moves to the next bit.
And think about this, Karen. If I take light and I put on the wall, white wall, the light like this, it's look the same. It's look the same.
It's coming a bit. That's a bit amazing.
Yeah. You see this gray. You see the dress.
It looks enormous. Yeah, the skies always look so fake, don't they, in the camera? They look like matrices.
Yes, it
really does.
Yeah,
Even my iPhone picks that up. This is the bit. It's going to turn really interesting now when it gets past this building.
Today I picture also the sun, and I couldn't get focus because of the sky like this. I couldn't get focus. Yeah, I picture also the airplane.
It's quite incredible that when it's up in the sky, it does look like a disc, but now it doesn't really look like a disc. It looks like it's flaming. So look at that. This is the bit that's coming. I just like, yeah, here we go. It's going down behind those houses.
And usually I picture Venus set, and yeah, it's difficult with this cloud.
Here, something's going on here. Oh, it's a building. I see. It's a building in the way. I thought it was a bit of the sun had gone. It's a building. I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness, it's going down just there.
I have a problem with the P900, me.
Yes?
I haven't got one.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
look at that. It's going down just there.
Incredible camera.
Amazing line in the clouds there. Whoops. Should have touched the computer. It looks like it's being swallowed in the sky.
Great video.
It's not that far away from him, is it? When he goes back, it's gone.
No, it's not far away.
That's it, it's gone. I mean, even if he's focused 10 miles or 15 miles ahead, it still went down. Not far away from that. Behind those buildings. Yeah, so there we go. Got to stop it, stop. Oops, and stop presenting. Yeah, so that's another amazing bit of video, isn't it?
Yes. Amazing.
What do you think of those, Patricia?
Well, I'm so jealous because I'm lucky if I actually see the sun and the moon because I'm stuck in my flat. And occasionally I might see the moon. But yeah, I really want a camera, a decent camera, so I can hopefully I can get out a little bit more and actually see them. But yeah, you just don't know what angle. No, I've seen the sun. Oh, I don't know. I'm terrible at finding out east and west and stuff like that. But yeah, I just think I mean, they're stunning to start with, and then you're like, why would it go like that way? I don't know. It's just, it's fascinating. Thank you for sharing them, Karen, by the way.
Oh, that's all right. Well, we're still sort of waiting for Matt, who's still having problems getting on, doing whatever it is on his Google app thing. He says he uploaded it, but he's still not here, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what to say, but I've got another video I could play. As long as my computer plays it all right, because it's speaking.
Yeah.
Well, we'll play this. I mean, it's not that it's anything. Maybe some people have seen this post, and it's a bit of nothing. Well, it's this guy talking about pyramids. I just quite like his take on it. He's quite jolly. And there's also this other place called oh, he's there.
There is Matt.
We have Matt.
Yeah. Hello, Matt.
Matt?
You're on mute. You're on mute.
I can't see his mute button. Matt, are you there? Flat Earth calling Matt. Shall I just play it then until we can hear from Matt? This is a place called Merlin's Mound, and it's in Marlborough, which is about 10 miles away from Silbury Hill and this pyramid I've been going on this last few days. And yeah, I was quite amazed, but this is just, hopefully I can play it today. And then this guy talking. This is in the middle of Marlborough. There's all these houses around it. They just built round it.
you start examining other temples around the world, you realize that these other temples have a lot in common. That is all very, very difficult to explain with vine ropes, copper tools, no pulley, and so on. One Egyptologist, the director of the Giza Plateau, said, there is not one grain of evidence of any advanced civilization ever having been in Egypt prior to the Egyptian. And I thought that was one of the most accurate statements I ever heard from an archaeologist. Because if you're looking for grains of evidence of sand, you will miss it. If you're looking, if you got your head in the sand, you will miss it. But if you look up from the sand and stop looking for grains of evidence, you will see millions of tons of rock right in front of your eyes, giving you some pretty damn good evidence. The Grand Pyramid of Giza is made of 2,300,000 stones. 2,300,000 stones. It stands at 481 feet of altitude. Its base is 13 square acres. That is extremely large. When you take survey picture, satellite picture of the apex of the Grand Pyramid of Giza, it is 1/4 of an inch off the center of the base. That's 13 square acres. 13 acres square. 1/4 of an inch off center. That's after placing 2,300,000 stones that have cut with copper tools. Yeah, you need some pretty good moonshine to do that one. But I guarantee you, that is extremely difficult to reproduce. In fact, engineers on this planet could ever reproduce that. Even with all of our modern technology.
Matt, are you there then?
Hello.
Matt? Yeah. Well, this goes on for about another 20 minutes, so I can keep, well.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to play it?
You guys have been watching it for who knows how long. An hour.
Okay then. No. We've been watching other things, but anyway, we've just been putting this guy on. He's interesting. Listen then.
Oh, I've seen him before. I do like him.
Them billions and billions of dollars, they couldn't come up with anything like that. Because if you divide 1/4 of an inch error by 2,300,000 stones, the accuracy at which you're placing these stones is outrageous. And we can't do anything like that. Our most accurate buildings, like telescopes, are not that accurate. They're not even close to having that kind of accuracy. Go ahead.
So you could say we've just barely come out of the Dark Ages.
Basically, or we got into the Dark Ages. Because it seems that there was people that were doing a heck of a lot better than us. So when I was looking at this, I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't happen that way. Why is it that we think, that this is taught as facts to children in schools every day? That the pyramids were built by people pulling on vine ropes? And you know why? Because in the 1800s, a bunch of English archaeologists showed up in Egypt, and that's the only thing they could come up with. And because they had PhDs and they were very respected archaeologists, since then, everybody is repeating the same thing.
And somehow a theory that's completely unproven became a fact. In fact, you will not get a PhD in archaeology if you say anything else about the pyramids. I guarantee you that. You cannot get a PhD in archaeology by saying the pyramids were built by little green man. This is one of the problems with education. A whole bunch of people repeating what they've all been taught doesn't advance the field very rapidly. Because everybody is repeating the same thing, you're not going anywhere. So, you know, but these archaeologists never actually, you know, I know they're not mathematicians, but this is simple mathematics, okay? You take the number of stones, they tell you that the pyramids had to be built in 20 years, okay? So that the dynastic Egypt worked. And then you calculate how fast they had to put the stones in. At 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, 365 days a year, for 20 years, they had to place the stone every 2 minutes to finish the pyramid on time. With that level of accuracy. Never mind. But then the archaeologists say, no, those were farmers. They could only build the pyramids during the time of the flood of the Nile when they couldn't work in the fields. 3 months out of the year. And when they had that 3 months vacation, hey, let's all go and build a huge pyramid. So they went out there and built pyramids 3 months out of the year. You redo your calculation. Now they have to place a rock every 2 seconds to make it in 20 years. So that really doesn't work. Because it's not like you can take these huge rocks and average 2 tons, some of them up to 40-ton rock. Like in the King's Chamber, there's 100 slabs of 40-ton pink granite rock, okay? These things at 135 feet of elevation in the pyramid. It's not like you go, hey Joe, catch this one. Hey Joe, catch this one, you know? And the other guy on the other end is like putting them in. You can't do that. And it doesn't matter if you got 100,000 people. You still can't do it. And you know, they tell you they did that by rolling the rocks on logs. Well, they might have not noticed, but these pyramids are in the middle of a desert. You need a lot of logs to move 2,300,000 stones. Where did the wood come from? When you ask them that, they say, oh, they imported it from Europe. I see. Was this like some catalog, you know, 1-800 ordering? Because like, as far as I know, the Egyptian didn't like, you know, easily navigate into Europe, cut millions of logs they would have needed, and brought them back. There's no evidence of that. So, but even more fundamental, I'll ask you, you know, even more fundamental, the fundamental axioms of archaeology is that you observe and decode the remains of a civilization to understand its morses and its you know, its activities and all this, right? Okay. There is over 1 million hieroglyph walls in Egypt. Thousands and thousands of hieroglyph walls in Egypt. In the temples, in the tombs, everywhere. They tell us how they make love, they tell us how they eat, They tell us how they went to the washroom. They tell us everything about their life. Everything. Not one of those walls mentioned building the pyramids. What? They forgot? You're talking about something that would have taken a huge effort. You'd think they would have put at least a little wall somewhere saying, oh, by the way, we built the pyramid. No. None of that. In fact, the archaeologists say not only that the pyramids built, that the Egyptians built the pyramids, but they say that they built them as tombs. Okay. What's the evidence? Zero. Zilch. Not one pyramid was ever found to host a mummy. Not one mummy was ever found in a pyramid. Not one. And I'm not just talking about Egypt. I'm talking about all around the world. And it's funny because you know how they do all these like historic, History Channel and all this stuff. They have all these nice documentaries, and they show you where they found the pyramids and the tombs and all this, and Tutankhamun and all this, and then they splice and they cut directly into the pyramid. So you think the mummies were found in the pyramid, but in fact, the mummies were found. Most of the king's mummies were found in the King's Valley, far from the pyramid. Some of the pyramids, they had to dynamite their way into the pyramid. They couldn't find an entrance. When they got inside the pyramid, there was the sarcophagus, the so-called sarcophagus in the middle. It had a slab. Some of them had slabs that were like 40 tons slabs sealing the sarcophagus. They would unseal it, pull the slab off, still no mummy. What was their conclusions? Grave robber. Those grave robbers, they were unbelievable. They just walked through the walls because they had to dynamite their way in. So those grave robbers got there before. They must have walked through the walls, got in there, picked up the 40.
Oh, well, it's hung there. Matt's here. Everybody gets the ideas about that. I'll stop screen sharing now. That's on that post there that I've put on Sun and Moon and the other group, part 2. Anyway, hello, Matt. You're on at last.
I apologize for the
Hi, Matt.
aggravation of the last 45 minutes.
That's
I
all
was
right.
thoroughly
You're on
ready
now.
to throw this laptop out the window.
How are you, Matt?
I'm okay. I'm getting a lot of questions right now with the new diagrams I've got going on, and a few other codes that I've figured out. It's really getting to be fractally insane.
That's good, though, isn't it? You need more people to understand what you're talking about. Don't they? I mean, just because you know it all doesn't mean that we all understand.
No, see, first, you got to understand, this is, when we talk about reality, I don't even need a book. That's how ridiculous this is getting. I don't even need a book. I don't need one. Because I understand a certain amount of things that make it so that I don't need a book. And it's an understanding through thought that teaches you this, that everything is in states. And these states are rates of resonance, density, frequency, magnetism, current, all describing the same thing. So everything's in 3 states. And what he's talking about is, to understand these states, is color of intention is exactly what he says. And he's talking about through these, there's nothing that's not in these 3 states: positive, negative, or neutral. And you look around, that covers everything in the universe. It really doesn't matter what it is. Everything falls into one of those 3 categories: positive, a negative, or a neutral.
So that's the basis of life then.
Exactly. It's the very, when you talk about categorizing life, you have to start somewhere, and that's the bottom line. That's the, you start there. Everything falls into one of those 3 states. You start there. Okay, so we got 3 states. And you look, there's 3 primary colors. Goes right along with those 3 states. One color's positive, one's negative.
Oh yeah,
and
then there's
neutral.
3. Number 3, 369.
And then you got 3 primary numbers, the 369, which 3 is, double 3 is 6, and triple 3 is 9. So really what you're saying is 3 is 3, or 33 is 6, and 333 is 9. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, or 1, 2, 3. However you want to kind of look at it, but realize that's all this. It's all really, that's what it is. So what we get confused about is we're fighting over shape of the planet, how many suns it has, and all these other stupid things. And under the laws of alchemy and Emerald Tablets of Thoth, like I said, I don't even need a book. I don't need a book. I can show it to you without a book.
Go on.
Because I understand it. Everything in the universe has a twin. It's another law of magic, another law of the universe. Everything has a twin.
What, there's 2 of you?
Sure. So in this understanding, that means that the sun has a twin too. The sun that you see has a twin too. So now you're already talking about 2 suns. Everything has a twin and a neutral. There's a twin and a neutral, a point in the middle between the twins. So in the beginning, when the word happened, you have 2 projections of light, and they leave in polar opposition of each other. One goes that way, one goes that way. And in the middle, that's the center, center sound, center source. That's the moon. That's the moon. Those things you call suns, they're not suns. They're not solid. They're not physical. You never touched one. You can barely look at it, and ain't nobody ever landed on it. All you're doing is assuming some things. You're just assuming things that you're being told from a company called NASA, which means to lie or deceive. Go look it up in Hebrew. N-A-S-S-A-U. Nasa means I'm going to lie to you. That's what it means.
They damn well did.
So you got 2 projections of light from the center. And if you think about it, we're in a vacuum. Space, water, whatever you want to call it, ether, plasma. I don't care. You know what I mean? Your terms are irrelevant at that point. So you got one light going one way, and you got one light going that way. To the naked eye on the ground looking up at this stuff, that light going one way and that light going that way, really what it looks like to your eye is somebody shining a flashlight on the wall and creating a shape on the wall because of the casting of light. You see what I'm showing you?
Well, you can't see anything in light. You only see something when it's hitting something else, and that's when you see the light.
Right. But in this case, we're dealing with a space and a vacuum, and the light just travels on and on. Doesn't stop traveling. It just continues a beam in either direction. But because the beam is there, it's manifest, and the energy's there, and it's going on, it appears like a sun in the sky, like the light on the wall. When you shine a flashlight on the wall, you got a round plate disc that appears on the wall from the light that's being cast on the wall. There's your sun, because it's the light that's reflecting away from the moon, from center. from center of sound, center of source. That sun is just a light beam that's projecting and traveling out. You got two of them. You got one going that way, and you got one going the other way. See that? That moon is going up and down in the middle. It's on the axis. The moon's on the axis in the middle. The moon controls the water, the high tide, the low tide, the current. Everything is dictated by the moon when it comes to water.
How does it do it when the moon isn't visible in the sky? And how come it's twice a day?
The moon, you can see the moon during the day. Always.
Yeah.
The moon's always there in the sky. You never not see the moon. It's
What
always
about when
there.
it goes away for a few days? How's it doing the tides then? Because there's two of them.
Yeah, the moon is still there. It's just when you got grayer skies and everything, you can't see it. There's pictures. You understand? It's translucent. It's translucent energy. It's not solid. It's not physical. You can see right through it.
Matt, each month, people monitoring the moon can't see the moon.
On what cycles? Are they doing 28-day cycles or 30? They're going by Gregorian calendars? Are they going by Gregorian calendar? Are they using the Hebrew calendar system? Which calendar system are they using?
It's just not there.
See? In the ancient belief systems, they had 13 months, 28-day cycles.
Yeah, there's 13 months, 13 moons a year.
And 13 times 28 is 360. $360 days in a year.
Yeah.
Math doesn't lie. They believed in a perfect circle system. Everything was a result of moving parts, all creating a singularity. Even in the calendars, the signs, the seasons, they try to hide it, but they can't. Even into the Roman system, they tried to hide it by changing the amount of months, but you got 3 parts to each month. That's how they put it back into your face, mid, early, and late. 3 parts, 30 days times, 12 months, 360, 3 parts to a season, 12 signs, 3 times 12 is 36. It's still 36. It's still 360. It's right there. We just don't see it right. All the parts are all being fit inside of a circle. If I
So
said a point was
changing then, because in reality there should be only 360 days, and there's not. There's more. So it's just
right.
Put the seasons out.
Right. They just do that to manipulate the calendar. It's all about banking, fractorial debt, daylight savings, getting more labor out of the slaves for less. That's what it's all about, controlling us. Time is an illusion of motion of atoms in the current of meta in a quantum sea.
But surely they've got like spring, summer, autumn, winter, right? With this calendar changing wrongly, then it's very obvious in a short period of time, even just a matter of a couple of years, we're going to notice that all the seasons are out of sync.
That's why they have daylight savings and they have leap year and they have all these little things to keep manipulating the clocks back and forth to make it appear like it's okay. We're supposed to have 7 days in a week, 365 days in a year. That's what they tell us. Well, do the math on that. It doesn't even add up. You're left a day short.
So what do you say to all these cameramen who every month lose the moon for a few days and just cannot see it in the sky like where they are? Everybody says the same.
See, I've been thinking on that for a long time too, because everything would tell us nothing's right. Everything's a lie. And we have to use our logic and our rationality to think about these things. You can see through the moon. In ancient cultures, they say that the moon was there in the beginning of time. It never wasn't. That's Kemet. The Kemet belief system was the moon is a center source that never wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And you start looking at, we don't know what to believe with NASA because of green screen and special effects, Hollywood, screen manipulation. What's real? You look at Buzz Aldrin's NASA, his
That they
NASA
have to lie to
spacesuit.
us, Matt. That they have to lie to us in the first place is already a thumbs down for me.
What's that?
That NASA have to lie to us in the first place and have green screens is a thumbs down for me.
And that's my biggest thing about this has always been the sound of words. Even as a kid, one of the things I was very good at is pairing words that meant the same damn thing. The same thing. Or the same sound. Words that spell the same or mean the same thing. It's been a game I've played with my mind for my whole life. And the saw means I'm going to lie to you, and they're just spelling it different to mock you. And NASA, never a straight answer. No, they never give you a straight answer because they're never a space adventure. There never was one. 1984, the CIA said our disinformation program will be complete when nobody believes in anything.
It's almost happening now, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And CIA is an acronym for Catholics in Action. I mean, what do you want? Yeah.
Golly.
So you must look at these things rationally and logically using the clues that we're being given. Look at the things that they've done to attack us personally through school, through our history books to make a rational decision, right? Why did they make left-handed people write with their right hand? Why would they do that? That's the government attacking mankind. I don't care. That's what it is. It's man's government trying to control man. That's what it is. Telling man he can't write with his left hand. He must write with his right, or we're going to beat him until he does. What's that all about? Conformity of thinking? Using the same part of your brain to create all your ideas from? All your thinking?
I'm not supposed
Because your right hand attaches to your left eye, and your left hand attaches to your right eye. You see how that works? It's crisscross. The right goes to the left, and left goes to the right.
But we're not supposed to think, are we?
No, they don't want you to think. That's the whole point. Music, art, those are all creative things. Are they in the school system anymore? No. See? Those are creative things. They don't want creative things to be in the education system because they don't want creative people. They want obedient, compliant, citizenry slaves. That's what they want. That's what they want. Your red thinking attached to your right hand is ego, self, force, power, fire. Those are all the cult esoteric meanings of that side. They want everybody in the red side of thinking. Red thinking. They don't want you to think from the blue. So they want you in the red. You know that right there. They're trying to put everybody into the red thinking. Anybody that doesn't think the way they do, they get labeled, prescribed medication, called lunatics, or they're speaking lunacy. Anything that doesn't fit their program. They got to be able to label it and define it as not okay. Conspirators, deplorables, truth speakers, heretics, heresy. There's always a label to define people who are against the conformity, outlaws, pirates. I mean, it's a lot of jokes here. So anybody who speaks out against it is labeled so that they can define them away. What I mean by that is if I come out with something radical that shows the government to be evil, government will make a stance that anybody that thinks that way is a conspiracy theorist. One of them. A kook. A fucking crazy loon. They got to give you a name to explain you away to the masses. Don't listen to them. He's a conspiracy theorist. He's one of them crazy kooks and loons. See? So then people don't listen to him because of the label that was given to them. And they're like, oh, okay, he's just one of them crazy guys. I don't have to listen to him. I put my bag on my head and go back to my reality. I don't have to listen to the conspiracy theorists. I don't have to listen to the deplorables. They're one of them. So you're boxing yourself in because they're telling you to. Telling you to be afraid of anybody that's outside the formed opinion that this place is. If you contradict the formed opinion, then you're a criminal. You're a criminal. If you speak out against the formed, approved, consented to opinion, then you're a criminal. And you will be labeled in a way that they can treat you as a criminal. That's pretty scary, ain't it?
Yeah.
When you start talking in terms of energy, you really start seeing it. And the manipulations with sound. When you realize that everything is atomic and atoms and vibrations and different speeds of resonance, then everything is frequencies and sound vibrations. And you start talking about these types of things, you realize that in the classroom, they never tell you or term anything the whole sound. They never say the whole sound. Think about that for a second. They never talk about the whole sound. They give you keys, scales, notes, pitches, bars, frequencies, but they never say, this is the whole sound. See that? The whole sound. Because there's only one sound. There's only one
Well, they never
whole
tell us
sound.
the truth, do they? They've never told us the truth.
No, that's just right. They've never told you the truth about anything. So logic tells you that, oh, a piano has many keys. So that's many pieces and frequencies and keys. That's just notes. Those are just notes. It's not the whole pie. It's not the whole pie of sound. It's not the whole sound. That's not the whole picture. And everyone, because everything is a sound vibration. That's why they don't tell you everything is sound and the whole sound. Because in the very beginning, it was sound that caused creation. See that? Sound caused creation. That's what they don't want you to acknowledge. Because if you acknowledge sound as creation, then you wouldn't be acknowledging the light. You'd be acknowledging sound. Because light is a direct expression of sound vibrations in motion. Natural laws of science, sound, light is sound frequency. The color of the spectrum of light is dictated by the vibrational state of the sound and its intention. If it's positive, it's negative, or if it's neutral. If it's a 3, a 6, or a 9, based on the personality of all the numbers in the frequency of the object, you can find the personality state of the nature of that thing. You will find its intention in that coding, whether it's positive, whether it's negative or neutral, all of that. It's all there, all the time. That code, that little law it affects everything. Nothing doesn't fall under it. And it just keeps going. I mean, the other day I saw this, we talked about 3s. And everything's in a state of 3. Well, I got something I'm going to show you guys as soon as I find a pen. So there we go. Everything's in a state of 3s. So when you add 3, when you count by 3s, you get something pretty amazing that happens here. So when you add 3 1s, you get 3. 3 2s, you get 6. 3 3s, you get 9. 3 4s, you get 12, but 1 plus 2, that equals 3. 3 5s is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. Triple sixes, that's 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. Triple sevens, that's 21. 2 plus 1, yeah, well, that's 3. Triple eights, that's 24, but 2 and 4 is 6. And triple nines is 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. So everything is a fractorial state. 9. Look at that.
Everything.
When you count by threes, the truth will be revealed. So says the I am that I am. And that's right out of Emerald Tablets of Thought. That's 25,000 years old. That's predating any Muslim culture. That's predating any Christian culture. That's predating any Catholic culture, because they're all plagiarizing and stealing from Emerald Tablets of Thought, mocking his work, claiming it to be their own.
Why do you think there was only 3, 6 to 9 then? Why doesn't it go really any further and the rest is all been sort of manipulated by us then?
Well, of course it was. Zero was invented by the Persians. They did that for banking and deficit. Fractal reserve banking was invented by the Persian Jews. Before the fall of Babylon, there was no zero in the Hebrew Israelite way of life. They didn't even have a zero. They had no way to calculate zero, and you can't count zero. You don't get zero back at the store, and nothing costs zero. And you can't count it on your hand. You see what I mean? You always get change back. There's never a zero on a price tag on anything. Think about it. The only place that zero exists is in your head.
Judith wanted to ask a question. Judith, what did you want to say?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say if somebody calls himself Jewish, doesn't mean he is a Jewish. So, yeah, it's if we speak about the positive, negative, and neutral, there is no Jewish. There is positive people or negative people. Yes? So
Right, that's exactly.
yeah,
And behavior,
so
and I love you, Judith, you're absolutely right. When
yeah.
you just take away, all you got to do is define actions. Oh, that stuff they were doing, yeah, that's no good. They're negative kind of people. I don't need a name for them. I can see their actions.
That's right. So that's what I
Oh,
want
they're
to
being
add.
positive.
That's
Okay,
right.
there's some happy people, and there's some. They're just
That's
witnesses.
right.
They're just hanging out. There's some neutral people. They're not feeling any kind of way about anything.
That's
They're
right.
just responding.
That's right. It doesn't matter what they call themselves. It's the
Right.
same human being, always,
Yeah.
always, always.
Yeah. I've been fighting with one of my. I like him. He asks a lot of questions. I'm not mad at the guy. I'm just, he's in Egypt. I'm here. He's a Muslim. My grandfather was Muslim. Whatever. It is what it is. But he looks at me and sees me as white, and I'm looking at him, and I'm laughing at him, and I'm seeing him as ignorant because he doesn't understand the truth. He thinks the truth is in religion, and it is not. Religion is not truth. Not one of those religions is true. Muslims are mad at fucking Christians for the Crusades. Okay? Well, guess what, Tweety birds? Those Templar Knights, they weren't Christian. Not one of them. No, they're Catholicism. They're Catholic. Catholic is not Christian.
The Knight Templars were Catholic.
Yeah, go look into their history books. The Rosicrucians, the Knights Templar came out of the Catholic Church. All that shit came out of them. Rosicrucians, all of it. Every one of those little secret, disgusting orders comes out of Rome. And when you look, you find out there's only 4 printing presses that print religious doctrine. And they're all owned by the same people. Follow the money. Follow the money. Sorry. People get really offended by telling them follow the money all the time because your religious materials are being controlled by a bunch of Zionist Jews. Doesn't matter if you're calling yourself Catholic or Christian, or Presbyterian, or Muslim. All your texts are being printed and controlled by the same inbred families. I said inbred, yes. I want to make sure you heard that because that's what they do. They inbreed. They keep it in the family. They inbreed to gain control. All banksters, they're all inbred. They're all related. They pass it around the table. Oh, yeah. They keep it in the family. And the ones that pop out of the oven that don't look so pretty, they just put them in mental wards and hide it. Or they kill them. They got no souls, no consciousness, they don't feel nothing. They think you and I are cockroaches and mouth breeders. They're going to do whatever they can to slow poison, kill us off the planet. Poison our food, destroy our education with Common Core education that leaves everybody behind.
And Matt, how do you see the pyramid? What is it, the pyramid for you?
The pyramids were designed as electrical generators. The ancient cities were being ran from those things. They were hydroelectrostatic generators. They were causing and creating water to run through the inside of these current. And you can figure this out when you realize the materials that are in the building blocks and the chutes. That was to flow water through them. And those blocks, they had gems in their mortar. They had rare and precious stones crushed to dust and mixed into the mortar of those bricks. Why? Vibrations of water against the stone, causing electrolysis. They were creating electricity through those pyramids. They were causing water to flow in and out and create electricity that ran Alexandria's lighthouse, the Great Light of Alexandria. It was ran off of this understanding. Go look into Baghdad batteries. They had a quantum understanding of reality. They knew how to create electricity without consumption of goods, without motion or moving parts. They were able to fly based on reversing the polarity fields of the earth or magnetism.
Hey, Matt, a couple of people think that some of those blocks were actually like poured.
That's what I'm talking about. When you read into Emerald Tablets, he tells you, I put opal in the grindstones. You know, he tells you the ingredients in the mix. I can remember a few months back, I was on here and I'd just gone through and listened twice to Thoth at that point, and I was still so mind blown. He tells you exactly how those things were made, brick for brick, in that story. He explains the whole thing. He says it was created to create electricity to run his cities. And then he also says that in the end days of Chem, he took the priests of the temple and he scattered them to the 4 corners of the earth. See that? And you look around, you got pyramids all over the place because he sent priests to every place. They're all using the same system of mathematics. The Mayans, the Mayan calendar, it's the same system because Thoth sent a priest to Mayans. He sent one down to the Aztecs. He was living there. He says he scattered his priests everywhere to the 4 corners to protect the knowledge of those temples. There's a lot of crazy stuff in there. It even talks about under the Sphinx's pyramid that there's a spaceship buried under there. A spaceship buried under the Sphinx that he put there. Says, I put the Sphinx here to mark that underneath is a spaceship for later use for mankind to save themselves from some really freaked and screwed up things that are running around pretending to be you and I, walking around in meat suits. Shapeshifters. Emerald Tablets of Thoth is specifically talking about shapeshifters. Just like that movie Stargate, if anybody's seen it. If anybody's seen that old movie Stargate.
Sure.
You look at the people that are running the slaves and the people that are flying around and using laser tech and stuff. They weren't human. They were wearing bodies.
Uh-huh.
They're showing it to you in that movie. And then Thoth is literally telling you that's what's going on. He said in his day, those shapeshifters used their abilities. They killed the royal members of the family. They killed the royal house and took on their vibrational resonance to look like them. Technology. That kind of tech. That's crazy. But that's what he's saying in those emerald tablets. I can't prove him wrong. You start looking around at some of these celebrities and people that we call leaders. Look at their eyes. The eyes are the windows of the soul. Their eyes shift. You can see it. You can see it. You look at Hillary Clinton's eyes. Her fucking eyes shift. Like a snake. Snake eyes. The eyes shift. Any of your most popular celebrities, your idols, they're icons. They're put there. Their job is to puppet to you, to con you, to sell you a fucked up bunch of goods that ain't no good. To tell you a bunch of lies until you believe them. You tell somebody a lie enough, they'll believe it. The bigger the lie, the easier it is to believe. Because the truth is scary at that point. You'd rather believe the lie. That's some massive, massive manipulation that's going on. And when you see these numbers, like I just showed you, and you count by threes, look what happened. 369, 369. It's always 369. It's just right there alone. Then you go into colors, you go into seasons. Everything is 369. Everything's a positive, everything's a negative, everything's a neutral. Then you go look around again. Everything's atomic. What's not moving? What's solid? What is physical? Your answer comes back, nothing. Nothing is solid. Nothing is physical. Squaring is action committed through a form or a tool. It's not a shape. It's action. Squaring. Circling. Same thing. It's not a shape. It's action. It's not solid. It's not physical. It's the result of a method. That's what the compass and square are. They're methods to square or circle the sheep into a form of thinking. The mass. And under Halian dialect, they give you a free lie and sell you the truth. So you're believing the lie because it's on your news, you see it in the paper, and hey, you told something enough times, you're going to believe it. So everybody around you generally believes the common things because that's what they're told. That's what they're parroted to. That's what they're dictated to. That's their dogma. That's what they believe in. And they don't check nothing. They make assumptions. They don't do homework. They make assumptions. They make asses out of themselves because they don't do no homework. They look like fools. And they'd rather argue you till they die than admit they were wrong. Ego is disgusting. People don't know what it means to be Christian. You're not Christian if you go to a Catholic church. And you're not Christian if you go to a Baptist, a Pentecostal, a Presbyterian, evangelist. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because they're all, at the end of the day, they're all corporations. They're all 501c3 entities. And they're all owned by the Roman Vatican. They're all owned by the same people, so none of them are right. None of them are right. The Cabal and the Jewish Kabbalah and the Muslims and their cube, their Cabal, it's the same thing. They're just spelling the words different and then mocking you about it. It's the same stuff. They're all doing the same shit. And it's done because you're in hell. You're not on, it's not what you're sold. You're literally in hell. You fell out of heaven into this fucking world. You fell to the bottom. This is hell. Now you must ascend and climb out of hell and find your way back to heaven. See that? And if you don't find your way out of hell, which is the Matrix, which is Saturn's Metatron cube that we're all fucking stuck in, you repeat the process. You reincarnate and you come back and you go back to fish school. And you do it again and again and again. Until finally your consciousness will recognize that this is a pixelated hologram and it ain't no religion fucking right. They're all lying to you. And once you understand the natural reality of this place and what your position is as a witness, what does a witness do? Tell me, what's a witness do? Anybody? Can anybody tell me what a witness does? What's a witness do?
Well, they're witnessing the truth.
Somebody. Do they physically involve themselves?
Well, I did for someone.
I'm not
I
asking
became a
about what
witness.
you did. I'm just saying generically, does a witness get physically involved with anything?
Well, I did.
Yeah, you did, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to witness.
I wish I hadn't.
This is what I've been telling people all along. You choose your feelers and they make you flip or flop to the left or the right, but they don't ever tell you how to stand in the middle and stand your ground. See that? You always got to be feeling something. You got to feel some kind of way because that's what they tell you to do. They don't care if you feel positive. They don't care if you feel negative. They want you in motion feeling, vibrating a fucking positive or a negative dictated by their terms. Doesn't matter either way. You're thinking positively in their form or negatively in their form. Either way, they win. You're creating emotion, churning energy, wasting, burning your time, and feeding their illusion. Doesn't matter which way you feel about anything. That's the middle ground. I don't have to feel. I choose to feel.
Shalom,
That's a
Kali.
sad thing. I understand it. It had to happen for a reason, you know. Everything has a purpose. That's the witness. Looking for the positive and the negative, not defining it as any way. Just understanding it for what it is. Not participating, not being a part of it. Calling it out for the bullshit. Speak the truth on sight. Don't feel any kind of way. That's Christian. That is Christian. It's not defining anything. It's not judging nothing. It's not labeling anything. And by those understandings, then every religion is wrong. All of them are wrong. All of them are traps. All of them are evil because they're all using symbols designed to form your opinions and thinking into a specific process of their choosing. Not what's right, not what's moral, not what's truth, not what's natural. We're only dictating what we comprehend. And the person that did the dictating, what if he was a retard? What if he was a child raping serial killer who dictated the terms of your Bible today? What if?
Matt,
Because that's the truth.
Matt, there is a connection between Anunnaki and the pyramid.
Yeah.
Tell me,
The connection is Thoth.
Tell me please about the Anunnaki, Matt.
Thoth is Atlantean. Thoth was Atlantean, Egyptian, this Anunnaki stuff. Okay? Where did they go? Guess what? They never left. They never went anywhere. They just made you think they went somewhere. Can you see this lighter? It's here. Can you see it now? You can't see it, but you know it's still there. Did it go anywhere? It's right there, but you just can't see it. That's all they did. There's many dimensions to this place. Our eyes can only see so much, but they're still right here. We have many words for them, many religions, many regions, many names for the same things.
That's right.
They never left. You go and quote Alice Crawley, 1950s. He said this before he died. He said, today we call them demons. Tomorrow we will call them something else. What if the something else is Anunnaki or alien or gray? What if that's the something else they decided to call them later?
Yeah.
They never really left. They're just making you think they did. You start looking at Enoch. Enoch dictates that portal, that vortex in the North Pole as a prison. He dictated it as a prison for fallen. He dictated that. And when Lucifer was cast out of heaven, he said he would reign this plane of earth from the kingdom of fire and rock. Now, if you thought about that literally for a second, what would you call the Borealis? I'd call that fire and rock. Land of fire and rocks. That sounds like that's a pretty good description of what we call the North Pole. You see what I'm saying? So he was cast out of heaven, and he's reigning over this plane of existence from the North Pole. But there's only one pole. Which end are you on? Are you on the one I'm holding, or are you on one up here? There's only one pole. Are you on the north end of the pole, or you're on the south end of the pole? There's only one pole. You're on the north end or the south end? There's one plane of existence, and it's got one axis, one pole. North end, south end. Same pole. They're really messing your head up. North and South Pole, there's no two poles, there's one pole with two different ends. You see how this is going together now? Isn't it great?
Good.
So everything's not there, so everything's moving, everything's in a state of water, everything's different vibrations of speed. When does space, where's the barrier, where's the line between space and water? Where's the line between a vacuum and space and water? There isn't one. We're in a bubble. It's an explosion that causes bubble that we're in. You know? But we're still a part of this whole thing. Out there, there's no out. There's no out. I don't know what you're looking for up there. Yeshua Christ said, you want to go to heaven? He says, I tell you what, if you think it's up there, the birds will go first. He said that. He said it out of his mouth. If you think heaven's above your head, I'm going to tell you right now, the birds are going to go first. You must be out of your mind, is what he said. He said the kingdom of heaven is inside you and me. That's why we go first. Because it's inside of us already. It's dictated by how we see, how we think, and how we feel. And all those are a result of our education that's been put on us since we were children. And our education is dictated by where we're born, our region. And out of our region, you get your religion. You get your religion for your region to keep everybody infighting. Because everybody wants their religion to be right. When none of them are fully right, they all have great truths and great understandings in them, but none of them are fully right. None of them are telling you the whole truth. They're only giving you half truths and half lies so you'll believe the whole book. A good lie has a half truth in it. So all these religions, Taoism, Buddhism, Islamism, all of them, it doesn't matter. They're all printed and controlled by the same inbred family. I'm sorry. I tell people I'm sorry all the time. I don't like being the messenger bird for this message. But it's the truth. Follow the money. Follow the damn money, and it'll take you right back to the Nazis and the National Zionist Jews who established the Israel nation that we call Israel today. They established it under the Balfour Agreement in 1917 when it was bought and paid for with English money. I'm sorry. That Israel over there never existed before World War I. It wasn't proved by God. It was bought by Satan's money.
Then? What's your take on the Bible? A good book? A bad book?
You have to have eyes to see. And you must have ears to understand. And you must want to know the truth. If you want the truth, you will find it. You will not need anyone to dictate terms to you what the truth is if you're truly looking for the truth. If you're truly looking. It's ego. It's want to be right. I didn't want to be right. Fact of the matter is, I started figuring out a lot of things that scared a lot of people. That was making me uncomfortable understanding things that were scaring people. And at a point, I realized everybody was living in a lie because what I had was a higher truth than what they could even handle.
Say hello to Kelly.
She already left the other room.
She's gone.
She's watching. She's got her TV show going on at the same time. Today's her day off, and she's kind of relaxing. She's been working hard this week. All these religions, they're dictating to us how to think, how to feel, and ain't none of them right. And in the sense of natural law and understanding, none of them are right.
I'd like to say something.
Which religion says it's okay to kill people? None of them. But yeah, here we are killing people. Every religion is killing somebody. So people don't take their religious or their beliefs very seriously at all. Because if they believed in those things that they claim to believe in, we wouldn't be in any wars. Because not one religion says it's okay to kill anybody. So nobody's following the rules. They don't even know the rules. They don't even know what they are. They're just assuming a watered down message that they get every Sunday, sitting in their own shit, their own gaudy goat shit, on Sundays at 9 in their pew. sitting in their shit stink, their pew. How many of those people that go to sit in those pews do you know, and they look down the end of their nose at you, thinking that your shit stinks. They're better than you because of the piece of clothing they're wearing, or the position in the church choir, or some shit. None of it's relevant. It's all junk, garbage, designed to fill your ego and give you a sense of a higher self, because self is higher. Because that's what they want you to think, that you're the higher self. And your self is higher. That's a big fucking floated, inflated ego. Bah! That's a big ego. Your self is higher? Are you fucking kidding me? Who's better than Adam? Which Adam's better than which one? Are you your neighbor? These are Christ's words. These aren't dictations from tradition or holidays. He said, what's not an ape? He said to love your neighbor as yourself, because you are your neighbor. He said that. And if you look at you, EWE, that's a baby sheep, or YOU, you're a baby sheep, you're your neighbor, everything's you. You. So he's talking about there's only one conscious brain, and we're all plugged into the same thing. It's all in us, and we're all part of it. It's a greater whole. We're all atom. Everything we're walking on is made out of atoms, and we're living inside one despite what your ego wants to tell you. And everything's made in the image of one, which is exactly what the Bible tells you. But you don't want to admit that piece of truth, because that would dictate a flat earth. God forbid you'd have to admit that NASA was lying to you, and the last 180 years of your education has been a farce. The bigger the lie, the easier it is to believe. Because the truth is far scarier. What I can tell you is that this is ego up in here going on. You got implanted thoughts going on and ego, your flesh, fighting you up in here, the positive and the negative. What I can tell you is this isn't your higher self speaking to you in your heart. That's God. For lack of whatever you want to call it. That's the higher consciousness of the whole. Because consciousness is in everything, even in water. Even in the air you breathe, there's a molecular state of consciousness. Everything's got electricity in it. Everything's aware. It's been scientifically proven that atomic matter is aware of being watched. It's your ego that doesn't allow you to see this. You're just a little atom in a much bigger one. A part of, and made out of many smaller ones. Nothing's not moving. Time is an illusion. And that calendar system is your way of measuring time, because you were told you have to die. You were told you have to die. You were told you had to live a certain amount of years, and then you had to die. That's what you were told. And that's what you do. Everything's a program. Even death, to a point, because you were told you had to die. Think about that one. The definition of dying is losing your electrical current. You lose your electrical current because you don't eat appropriate foods. You eat shit. So you become shit because you are what you eat. What if I told you McDonald's and every fast food joint in the world was processing and selling human meat? You are what you eat. What food are you eating that is good for you, that is real? That's real nutrient. What's not fake food? Why do grocery stores have health food departments? You know, It's sick. When you realize how deep this goes, it's fucking sick. It's mind-blowing. You don't want to believe it because it's horrifying to understand this shit to a point. But then, once you understand it, then you realize a few other things. I don't have to feel any kind of way about anything. That's true. I have no control over anything. That's true too. You don't have control over anything. All I can do is respond critically with the best amount of the best information, the latest information, make the decision at the last possible moment to give myself enough time to collect all the information. From this state of mind, you'd never emotionally react to anything. You respond critically at all things, neutrally. Take the information, evaluate it, and make a decision. You're aware of the outcome before you make the decision. What could happen? What could happen if I go positive? What could I do? What happens if I go negative? How are the people going to react? That's neutrality. That's Christian. That's the law of the water, which is the spirit, which is your mother.
Again, you use name, Christian.
Christian is an understanding that consciousness is inside you. And as a Christian witness, you don't judge, define, label, insult, ridicule, or mock people because of clothing, shit, title, status, none of those things. If you're doing any of those things, you're not Christian. You're selfish. You're Satanist. You're a Satanist. If you're defining your worth better than somebody else's because of a job, possessions, or clothing, color of skin, you're a Satanist. You're judging. It's not a Christian job to judge. No. Whoa. That's the truth to being a Christian. And that's the truth to being a magician as well. The magician also realizes that everything in the universe is electric. And everything under his feet is the same thing as the things that are in the sky. And everything above his head and under his feet is inside of him. And everything inside of him is in the air he breathes that's outside of him. Because as above, so below. And everything is all same. One. Magicians understand that. And that's a lot of alchemy. And that's older than everything. Goes all the way back to Thoth. Thoth wrote the laws of alchemy. And many religions are just duplicating, plagiarizing his teachings, declaring them to be their own. Also, when you read in Thoth, what we call ascended masters and disciples of light and all these other different fancy terms for Christ that we have today, Sanananda, Tahuti, Quetzalcoatl, Yeshua, all these different names, Merlin, Saint Germain, all these names. It's just Thoth. It's his flesh ego reincarnating into the flesh to raise our stupidity to a higher state of consciousness every generation or two. Every couple hundred years, the purple man comes back, teaches people some shit to raise their ignorance. Get them. Enoch, Elijah, Moses, same thing. It's all purple man. Purple man with a serpent staff and a silver crown. Go take a look around. Every religious man, every religious icon, that's what he's got going on. Serpent staff, a purple hooded robe, and a silver crown. Because it's a purple state of consciousness. It's not about being red. It's not about being blue. It's about being purple in the middle. being neutral, looking at the left, looking at the right, and making a decision down the middle with all the facts, not assuming any story, not getting emotional about anything. It's amazing stuff. Because in this way, it's not what you can't deny it. You can't. You really can't. As you really can't when you start looking at it and you really start looking around. They're all saying the same thing. Every one of those consciousness figures are teaching, preaching, and dictating the same exact message. They're all saying the same thing. But it's our ego that makes one better than the other because of a name. But many languages will give you many sounds describing the same thing. This is a pick, right? It's fire. It's a lighter. In Spanish, they call this el fuego. Many things, many names for the same thing. That's what they did to Christ. That's what they did to the story of Christ. It keeps going all the way back to Egypt and Horus. It's just, and then really, what this is a metaphysical story so that they can hide the truth about the 369 in this story. It gives you the fractal state of reality. Christ and his 12, Krishna and his 12, King Arthur and his 12. Round and round we go. It's all about 12 positions around a center one. Israel and the 12 sons. It's about a fractal state. A 12 system. You get 30 degrees times 12 is 360. There's your circle. With one point in the middle. This reality starts and stops in the middle. Everything started in the middle, expanded out from an implosion. It was pushed out. It halved itself to create night and day, duality and opposition, night sky and day sky. You think it goes night or day because the moon train changing, or the sun rotation, night and day? It's not that. It's night sky and day skies, two skies. The lights dictate turns. The Bible tells you that the moon is the greater light. You choose not to listen. The moon pulls the water. What doesn't have water in it? Everything has water in it. So the moon is pulling the water. And everything has water in it. So if the moon is pulling the waters, and that's turning the skies. Because the moon is creating the currents, not the sun. Not the sun. The sun is a refraction. It's a negative light. It's a reflection of light cast from the moon outward into space vacuum to points unknown on forever. And you're just seeing a little round spot in the sky and you call it a sun. When really it's just a blinding negative light and it's a distraction and it's blinding you from the mother. Because the moon is the sun. And it's the monkey, the moon key, add a O, moon is key, moon key. Moon key is the monkey in the middle. They're doing this. I didn't do it. They did it. They got us all Phoenician blind, moon-eyed, chasing money, moony, blinding us from the moon, our mother, and that's the heart of matter. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. There's no denying it. They don't talk in personal terms of balance. They talk in masculine energy. They don't talk about feminine energy. You think feminism is for women? It's not for women. It's for controlling women. Feminism is the same thing as communism or socialism or despotism. Many words describing the same exact thing. It's all about controlling women and eugenics because you get the women under your control. You got the children under your control too. You got two for it. But then you get a third one free. You get the father. You make the man fall because you got the mother and the child. That's how you destroy a population or a species. And you look around, women are angry today and they want to blame men for their problems. That's fine. You can blame me all you want. That's fine. But I'll tell you right now, look you right in your face, and I'll tell you right now that men reflect their mothers the most. Men act like their moms more than their fathers. So if you don't like how men are acting today, maybe you should speak to their mothers. Or are they too busy teaching government propaganda in the classrooms? Or are they too busy taking children out of other people's homes and putting them into homes where they really shouldn't be put? They wind up being worse off than where they came from. And the people doing that crap, they're moms too. Who's raising all their children? Who's raising those children? How many women work for the state? Who's raising their children? Where's mom? Not in the equation. She became a federal employee and working for the machine. And she ain't raising her kids, so her kids become products of the machine while she's out taking kids from other families, turning them into products for the machine. Where's mom? Whoa. Anybody want to say anything? I'm going to take a pause for a second. That was a lot.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. There is many Bible, and there is many religious, but there is one Torah. There is one Torah, and this Torah is for all the human beings. And this
Yeah, and the Torah is, you listen, it was Tor
yeah,
is ripped.
great.
Torah, Ra.
Oh,
You go back and you go back.
yeah,
Thoth spoke to MMatt. The action of Thoth speaking word to mother sparked Atum Ra. Atum Ra.
great. In Hebrew, Torah is show you the way.
Right,
Show you the way.
right.
Yeah. So
And Christians in the ancient days called themselves the way followers. Followers of the path or the way.
yeah. So when we buy stuff, in everything when you buy, especially technology, you have a paper and it say there what you need to do to make this stuff working. It's a kind of rules for this stuff that you buy that show you how it's work correctly if you do A, B, C, D, E. Okay? So for life,
Yeah.
when you make Christmas, for life, there is Torah that show you the great way how you need to work on this, you can call it metrics or program or
Absolutely.
mind. Yeah, so there is a kind of rules how you need to live your life, that
Yes.
you can work on
Absolutely.
the
I have some
freely.
very small rules. Okay, I have very small rules for myself. I understand that God is in me. I'm not God. I'm an expression of Him. I'm His witness. I feel the shit, and He feels it through me. I acknowledge it's there, but I don't go out and get emotional about it. I have no control over it. I make mental note. That's all I can do. I witnessed it. I saw it. I spoke about it. I acknowledge that. I know that if I don't say when something is wrong, then I subconsciously am consenting to it. That's why I say it to you all the time, your silence is your consent. Because if you don't speak, you agree. Under those, the next is this. It's so simple. No day above any other. All are equal. Religions, traditions, holidays, they're repetitive behavior. No day is any better than the day you're living in now.
Yes,
All days
Matt.
are equal.
Yes,
All
Matt.
life is precious.
I try to remind people the solution they have. Okay, I try to remind people the solution they have to live their life immediately in harmony.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really try to complicate this. I rattle the hell out of people's cages so they can see something's wrong. And then I present them a simple understanding of life, and I show them a few basic rules. You honor the sound of God. Number one, God is not a name. That's a title. It's not a name. Lord and Father aren't names either. So you go and call on Lord and call on Father and call on God. I bet you don't get no answers. Because you're not calling on the sound name. It's not a name. You're not calling the right phone number. You're not getting an answer because you ain't dialing the right frequency. Sound name is critical. No days above any others. And you are a direct result of what you eat, what you put in your mouth. Be fully aware of what you're putting into your face for nutrients and crap. You'd be surprised what you're putting into yourself. I'm not kidding. Flour, bread, grain, pastas. How much of your food has bleach in it? It's bleached. Bleached sugar, bleached bread, bleached rice. None of this stuff is any good for you. It has bleach in it. It's not natural to have bleach in things. You shouldn't be eating bleach. I shouldn't even have to tell you not to eat bleach. So we are a direct result of our diets. Most people die because of the food they eat. 80% of Americans die because of the food they eat.
Matt,
And then they suffer side effects from medication until they do die because they hope they're going to find some kind of cure in a pill. And all it's doing is giving them more side effects and making them sicker than they were in the first place. So they go back to get another pill and another one and another one and another one. The average senator in the United States, I was told yesterday, is on 12 medications. The average senator is on 12 prescription meds each. Wow. That's some highly medicated people right there.
I've said this many times before, that they don't want you here and now. That's everything that is everything. Flat Earth, the lies, the history. They just don't want you here and now. The whole point is to control you.
Right. Right. They don't care what you do, for the most part.
I mean, for instance,
As long
you
as
have to
you
make
do
a
things,
reality that's not real, like space, and you have to spend millions of pounds lying about it for 50 years, 60 years, because it probably took them 10 years to create it, then what you're doing is you're taking the freedom away because you're making people believe in a reality that doesn't exist.
right, and reducing your
Why would they want to do
value.
that?
And you're reduced in value. You're reduced in value. You're reduced from conscious creator to evolved monkey. Your value's been reduced to nothing. You were reduced from conscious creator, son of Adam, down to a fucking de-evolved monkey, and that's why the moon is the key to the game they're playing on you. That's why monkey in the middle. It's so funny. When you see it all over the place. Red versus blue, sun versus moon. Eagle versus serpent. Enlil versus Enki. Zeus versus Poseidon. Jacob versus Esau. Thoth and Loki. Thor and Loki. On and on and on. Two brothers, fire and water, serpents and eagles. Let's duel it out through the history of mankind. You'll find that storyline lines up everywhere. Doesn't matter the names. It's a color war. Color. You're not even taught to understand color. You're told white is all light, when really diamonds are the highest vibrational state. They're the furthest point from the center. They don't take in light. They reject all light. You shine a light on a diamond, it's not casting light. It's displacing and dispersing the light that you're forcing into it. It don't want none of that light. It says, get out of me. It's rejecting all light. It's not a source. It's a product from sound speaking. Light. If there was no sound, there'd be no light. Sound comes first. Sound comes first. That's where Tesla was wrong. That's where everything else is wrong. Everybody's trying to say light, and it ain't light. It's sound. It's sound in water. Sound in water. That's the key to everything. Sonic geometry, sound somatics, sound transmutation, bending sound waves. Sound, that's what it is. Illusion. It's a holographic sound illusion. It's not what's truth. It's what they can trick you, trap you, square you, circle you into thinking. What they can force you to believe. Not what's true. What they can make you think is real. That's the real game. What can they trick you into thinking is real? What can they trap you into? How can they con you into a box? Jack you in a box. Fence you in. This is a fucking dueling boxing game. This is all games. See? Boxing, fencing, dueling. They're all trying to square you into a certain way of thinking. And they can't create nothing. They can't come up with any original ideas. They can only take what's already there and twist it. Make it different, but it's still the same. Because they have no ability to create. And that's why they took music and art out of school. They don't want people to have the ability to create. They want mindless drones flipping burgers, signing time contracts, working in whatever. They want you chasing money that has no value. What are you going to do when a loaf of bread costs $25? Gallon of milk costs $100. What are you going to do then? Where's your money now? You're going to be working all day for a gallon of milk. Work all day for a loaf of bread. Because of currency manipulation. Getting people tricked into thinking that currency is money. And it's not money. Currency is representation of gold. Gold's a commodity. So isn't your time and labor. Because first man came out of the soil. And anything that comes out of the soil is a commodity, including your time and your labor, which you're accepting currency for, but you're not getting the face value that it's supposed to be representing. It's supposed to be representing gold. A dollar's worth a dollar. Gold's always worth more in the store. See that? So they keep jacking the value of gold up. You keep accepting dollars as valuable, and they keep rising the price of goods in the store based on the terms of the gold, not the dollar. A dollar is worth a dollar. Gold's always worth more in the store. Bypassing the dollar and you. Deflating your value. That's why a loaf of bread today is $5. And during the 20s, it was a nickel. This is how they take from you, use you, usurp your energy, and con you into trading your time into currency so you can go buy stuff that you think has value. And it doesn't have value. Not any of it. Not any of it. When you sit there and think about what you trade your time for at the end of the day, was it even worth trading your time for? You know? Soda every day is $100. See that? A soda every day is $100, over $100 at the end of the month. That's a day's wage for a lot of people. But is soda worth a day of your life? Would you trade a day of your life just to drink soda for a month? I bet you never thought about it like that before. That's what's going on. You're trading your soul energy, converting it into currency so you can buy shit in this physical world that you think is valuable based on what you think it is and what you feel it is. And they keep us running this rat race, chasing this stuff, and they gotta keep giving us new products. Because if we don't have these new products, then we're going to start asking questions. Because our time, if we don't want the things that are in the store, then we'll stop working and stop asking questions. And we'll start going outside of their realms of control. They don't want that. So they got to keep spitting out technology to keep you glued to it. Every few months, new technology spitting out. It's to keep you fucking slaving so you buy the next phone. Trade your time. Trade your time for the phone. The most valuable commodity in this world is silica, and that's sand. It's the most traded for commodity in the world is sand. And that's used to make cell phones and technology pieces. So we're literally cannibalizing the soil line that we're walking on to create technology that we can stick in our face. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. I don't even know what to say about it. This is what it is. It's being done for many reasons. It's the alien ant farm. We're living in a fishbowl. It's alien ant farm. Musicians and music has been telling us for 50 years the truth, and we don't listen. And the ones that start getting famous, they wind up dead. The ones that tell us the truth the most and wind up famous because of their music, they wind up dead because of the truth they were telling in their music. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. You're a diamond.
It all sounds a bit drastic, doesn't it, though? It's almost like there's no hope.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they want you to really think, that there's no hope. They want you to fall into a state of despair. They don't want you to understand this, the moon is the mother god. They don't want you to understand that the moon is the center. They don't want you to understand that the moon holds sway over all the water of the universe. They don't want you to see those things, because you'll be broke right out of the system and you're on your way out. Because there's only one way out. One. As soon as you're awake to the game on the moon and what it is, when you die, you don't come back into this damn soul matrix. Unless you choose to. It's a choice. Coming in here in the first place is a choice.
A volunteer. A volunteer to guide.
Yeah, you volunteered. You volunteered. You accepted the invitation of your mother and your father. Because you're conscious. You chose their invite when they had sex and decided to make a baby. Consciousness accepted their invite. That's why you're here. You chose. You were before the body, and you will be after too. You come down here to experience. That's why Christians don't physically partake. They don't get involved. They don't react. They witness and they assist in a neutral way. They don't feel any kind of way. They're just here. They have no control. They have no ego.
You feel that there's a lot of people are antennas.
Yes. Yes. We're all antennas to the frequencies we choose. And those frequencies are based on what we educate our minds with, what we feed our eyes with, what sounds we listen to. Those things are affecting our soul frequencies, and we're not taught a clue about this stuff. Everything we listen to dictates how we feel about things. It affects our aura and the frequency. Our hair, the hair on your arm, your neck, the hair on your head is designed to catch frequencies out of the air. Ever feel like somebody's staring at you and makes the hair on the back of your neck raise? You're aware of energy when it's being directed at you. You feel it. The hair is to feel those energies. But we're not taught to have long hair and beards and be masculine or be feminine in those types of ways. It's not popular to have a nice groomed beard and have a man, for a man to have long hair. It's not consent. It's not popular. It's not right in today's society. What is popular is never right. It's always the opposite. Whatever the popular opinion is, figure out what the opposite is. That's the truth. Because the popular way is easy, and the easy way is never right. That's something I've learned over a lifetime. Popular ways are never right. They're always wrong. And they're always upside down. It's a methodology. It's the way they think and present information to us. They use a metaphysical mirror when they're presenting us stuff. They present things to us upside down and backwards, literally right there in our face. And we're not taught about symbols and sound shapes and structure of things. So we're literally clueless to this stuff. And they're at home getting horny over the fact that they know all this stuff. And we don't have a damn thing to know anything about it. They get off on it. It's a power trip for them. It's a power trip to control your mind. Because I don't even know why. I honestly, I don't. Well, we already know ultimate power leads to ultimate evil and all these things. But from my point of view, I don't want no control over anybody. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing. I don't even want to be here. I'm ready to go home anytime. This world disgusts the hell out of me. I'm here. I don't feel any kind of way about anything in this place, and I don't agree with none of it. Because all of it is so far off center base, it's not even right. It's not. None of it. My Bible.
It is a bit freaky that nothing is right, everything is a lie. Like, why are we here then? Just to be tested in lies? It almost makes me, without sounding too dramatic, because it's not quite like this, but the only thing I can relate it to is that film Saw. But they think that they're going to get out, and they believe they're going to get out, and they're almost there, and their fingers, they just touch it, and then they die anyway. Like, we're almost there, we find a way, we understand, and then you still got that question, like, yeah. What are we really
These
here
are all
for?
symbols found in the cover of my Bible.
Here's all a game, though. Why did they put us in a game? Why do we want to join a game?
What I'll tell you right now, I've only read half of this particular translation.
Show me.
But I will tell you that this particular translation, this copy, has 30 30 books more than the one you have today. And that Bible's only printed in 1947. And it's got 30 books in it that are not in today's Bible at all. That's a damning piece of evidence of manipulation. I didn't do that. I stumbled on this book at a library, at a book sale. Got it for $2. $2 I bought this book for. It's got 30 books in it that ain't the one that's being sold to us today. This is only 70 years old. This is 72 years old. And the original printer on this one, surprise, surprise, this is printed by the Vatican. Hawthorne Books Publisher, 1947. Solomon's Keys. PV talks about Solomon's Keys and Solomon, Sun and Moon. Right there in the crest of this Bible is the keys to the sun and the moon. Solomon, sun and moon. This is the Sun and Moon Bible. You know, I laugh at people that argue with me, but they don't have all their facts. They're missing 30 books.
Have you read the other 30 books then, Matt?
Oh, I read 2 or 3 of the missing books, and I'm waiting for a friend of mine to come up here who'll be here in a couple weeks. He'll be here on the 1st, because his understanding of certain words is a little better than mine, and I want to make sure on some of these things. But that's what this is. This is the Solomon Sun and Moon Bible. In this book, teaches you how to weigh, measure all measurements, shows you the ancient names of every state in the world, every nation, the old names, shows a different layout of travel for Moses than what's being presented today. Everything is different in this one compared to what we're being force-fed in today's church. This Bible calls God a female. Is this Bible wrong? In Ephesians, in this book, it calls God a woman. It goes back to the Egyptian belief system and the MMatt. And you listen to how it sound. MMatt. That's Yahweh upside down. It's Yahweh backwards and upside down in the mirror. Talk about the mirror. Yahweh is MMatt. Backwards in the mirror. So then you see that you got a male and a female balance. So one side is masculine, to the other side is the feminine. But it's the same word, but it's upside down and backwards in the mirror. Yahweh MMatt. You're hearing that same sound syllable in there. I became fully aware of that, and because of that, I found high favor from that understanding. I will tell you that. Getting real results. Not, God, gee, maybe it might answer my prayer. I don't pray. See? I don't pray. Because of the state of knowing. I don't pray for myself. Because I know that's selfish. You're not supposed to pray for yourself. You're supposed to acknowledge the need of others around you. You're supposed to pray for your neighbor. You don't pray for you. You got eyes. They're attached to God. God sees what you see. You don't need to ask for anything. He knows what you need. You don't pray. You ask for guidance. You ask for help with understanding, protection, those sort. You don't physically ask for nothing because he provides everything for you. Other than that, you pray. If you prey on yourself, then you're praying. You're eating yourself. You're praying. You're preying on yourself with an E. You're not praying. It's a manipulation. You don't pray for yourself. It's a con job. You pray for everybody around you. And that action is the action of love. And you're going to get everything you need because you didn't ask for anything. So you get everything. So yeah, if you don't ask for nothing, you get everything because you didn't want nothing. You didn't go chasing anything, so you get everything. Isn't that funny? Because energy still has to move. And if you're not chasing, then the energy is coming to you because you're not running. You're standing. And if you're standing still, then there's nothing but time and current coming at you. Everything is coming to you. It's your patience. How long can you hold out? How long can you wait? Are you patient enough? Are you where you're supposed to be, or are you out chasing and running around? And you're never where you're supposed to be, so you miss everything. Because you're never where the energy was sent to. Because you're always running. So you never get caught by what God's trying to give you. You can't get it because you're never where you're supposed to be. You're churning energy everywhere and causing a state of confusion and chaos. Ripples in the water. Wasting time. Causing all these distractions and you don't get nothing. You see what I mean, Karen? Hello?
I'm here. I couldn't unmute myself. I was here.
Oh.
I couldn't unmute myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You see how this is working?
It's crazy. It's the complete opposite of anything I want.
Right. And it's the truth. Which is the complete opposite. You don't chase anything. If you chase, then you'll get nothing. Because you're trying to control. I have more material possessions right now in my life than I ever have in my whole life. And I'll tell you right now, I hardly purchased any of it because it was all given to me because I didn't chase none of it. So I got all of it. It's how it works. People will give you what you need. You don't even know what you need until it's being given to you. People are so busy chasing what they want. They don't know what they need. They don't know the difference. So they chase everything. So they get nothing. That's how this works. You chase, you get nothing. You don't move, you get everything. If you're a rock in the water, you get everything. If you stand and be a rock, you get everything. Because you stood on your ground, you believed in it, you didn't move away from it, and you're right where you're supposed to be, and all the energy just keeps coming to you, giving you everything hand over fist. The more you reject it and the more you give away, the more you get. See that? You start hoarding stuff and go, oh, this is pretty, this is mine, this is for me, and nobody can have it. Yeah. Then it don't work no more. Because you try to keep it. You try to control it. No, it don't work that way. The more you get, the more you have to give. And the more you give, the more you get. It's too funny. It's too funny. The more you give away, the more you get materially and spiritually. Because the material world has no material meaning to your mind. You rejected it. The things are nice to have, but I don't really need them. I don't want them. It just makes my life comfortable. And I'm thankful for that. But if I had to walk away from all of it, no problem. It's gone. No attachment to any of it. That's what it's about, being in this world, but not being a part of your material shit. This is not what we're being taught. We're being taught more is less and less is more. That's what it's supposed to be. I mean, appreciate the little things more in the smaller things, the lesser things, because they're greater. The smaller the number, the greater the thing. When you take the number 1 and you divide it by 360, you get 360. The smallest thing, 1, became the greatest thing, 360. Take the greatest thing, 360, divide it by the smallest thing, you get 1. See? See how that works? Less is more, more is less. That's why the smallest, the meekest will inherit earth, because they're humble. They don't want anything. They don't need anything. They're already on the bottom rung. They're right there with the earth. And when this whole pyramid comes crashing down, the ones on top, they'll be at the bottom. They'll be your servants. They'll be your ditch diggers. They'll be the slaves. They will become the meek. They will not be able to live off the land. They will die. Because they don't know how to live on the land. They only know how to live off the back of another man. They parasite us. They use money to draw energy out of us by charging interest on fictitious money that doesn't even exist in the first place. Federal Reserve charges interest to print our money, then they pass the money to the mint, prints the money, charges the Fed dictates the money to the bank. That's 3 terms of interest on your money. And then the feds, they got to charge for it too. That's 4. So there's 4 interest penalties on your dollar before you ever even cash your paycheck out of the bank. Most people don't even understand what I just said. That's okay. Just know that your money has 4 layers of interest on each dollar that's printed before you even had it put in your hand. You're paying interest to the Federal Reserve. You're paying interest to the IRS. You're paying interest to the Rothschilds. You're paying interest to all these frigging guys. And ain't none of them nothing. Users, inbreds, all of them. All the banks are ran by the same family. They interbreed. They've been doing this since World War I. Rothschild sent 5 families, 5 sons across the world. England, Vienna, France, Britain, and New York. Sent 5 sons out into the world to establish banking houses in 5 different countries, because he realized that loaning money to nations was better than loaning money to people. So you got one family that tricked the whole world into borrowing money from one family. If France needed a loan, they'd borrow the money from England. England needed a loan, they'd borrow the money from the United States. United States needs a loan, they had to send in from Germany or somewhere else. You see what I'm showing you? That's a friggin' 5-card Monty. That one family got the whole world into a state of war and loaning and charging of interest on national debt, destroying countries, civilizations, bankrupting them and stealing their land and the rights, the mineral rights to their land. Look around. They ain't never done nothing but steal, murder, lie. Their culture dictates it. Go look into the Jesuit oath.
Free, wasn't it? It was free. It was, used to be once.
Yeah. It's free. With this understanding of math that I have, the implications are endless. Infinite energy, levitation, sound transmutation, and sound healing, killing cancer with sound waves, sound therapy. There's many different implications. Flight is real. All those things were real. The Egyptians worshipped the beetle because it levitated, and that's where their understanding came from on how to do this and how they harnessed it. A beetle doesn't fly, it levitates. It levitates because it has copper in its blood, which is a negative, against the positive, which is the earth. So it flaps its wings with its copper blood and creates static electricity in a little energy field around it so it can flap around in its own little bubble. It ain't flying. It's levitating, same as a bee. People don't pay attention. They don't understand the world they're living in. They don't. They don't. This understanding comes from being on the street. This understanding comes from watching, observing things in nature, noticing, paying attention. It doesn't come from school. There's no school that could teach you what I've known or I figured out. There's no class. It's 30 years of my own personal life and reading. I chose to do this. It was my choice. It had nothing to do with what somebody told me this reality was. I knew they were all lying, so I chose to do the homework. I didn't know where to start. Numbers just seemed like a good idea to me. Boy, was I right. Whoa, was I right. Everything's a number. Nothing's not one. It's just trying to figure out what the numbers are telling you. Is this a negative frequency? Is this a positive frequency? Or is this a neutral frequency? How does this affect? What state is it in? What's its color of intention? What's its vibration? What's its resonance? What's its sound name? What's the personal sound of this book? The vibration of this book is the sound name of this. Instead of calling it a Bible, what's the frequency that this book is making right now to create this shape that I'm holding in my hand? Or this lighter. That's the sound resonance, the personal name. Frequency that creates the cluster of energy, the atoms that are holding the shape. That's the resonance. That's the personal sound name of this. And that applies to everything in this reality. That's heavy. That's really heavy. And that's out of the Emerald Tablets of Thought. You can't deny it because it's the highest truth. You start breaking it down and looking at it like a little kid. And that's the problem. Adults don't think like children. To be godlike is to be childlike. If we don't think with our hearts, children do. Children know this stuff better than adults because they're closer to God, more innocent.
They're still connected.
And have a higher natural understanding. They're still connected until they have sex.
Oh, I was going to say.
They are connected to God until they lose their virginity.
Well, I was going to say, the sensitivity I've got was there as a child, and it hasn't left me.
Right. People that are sensitive to this stuff, they still have a childish heart. They still choose love over fear. They choose to be love. Anything else, there's only two states of emotions. It's either fear or love. Which one are you serving? Are you serving the positive? See, we're going to be serving. It doesn't matter. You can serve. But the choice is you get to choose what you're serving. What are your intentions? What matters and feels most to you? Because if it don't mind you, then it don't matter. Why people get offended by my language? And I tell them all the time, how are you spelling those words? They're like, what? How are you spelling the words that I'm sounding? How do you know I'm thinking them and saying them the same way you're thinking them and spelling them for your head? How do you know I'm talking the same sounds? You're judging. Now shut up. See that? We don't think about things right. Judging the intent of sound. Spell it however I want to. I did a live rant on that one earlier today because I was getting yelled at by some Harvard English professor. I went off on him on English craft and he shut right up. Because he knows. And when I went off on him on that stuff, he didn't say nothing. Not a word. Because he knows. You can spell sounds however you want. Writing is spelling. And spelling is a form of magic, which is sorcery, craft. People don't think about that. When you write your intentions onto a piece of paper, you are making a vibration. You are committing a vibration onto paper. And that is a spell. You write a poem, a song, a story. It's casting a spell, a narrative, fantasy, an illusion of your choosing. See? You're authoring. See that? You're the king author. You're writing. You're spelling. You're casting.
You don't realise that most of it is just an illusion. All of it. Well, actually, all of it.
Everything's illusion. It's up to you for the choosing.
We'll have to learn to trust each other again.
And religion is a separator, not a bringer together. Because they're all owned by the same entity. So none of them are right because they're all got the same owner. It's a tactic to divide, not bring together. Keep people fighting based on their regions. What part of the world are they born in? My religion's better than yours because I'm a Muslim and you're a towhead. I'm going to bomb you because Muslims rock. And then none of these texts does it say to kill anybody.
What do you reckon we're here now then, if we've had this sort of 60 years of a ball, because it happened in the 60s when they actually turned us into a ball. So what are we all here for now then?
This Bible that we have in our religion and our understanding doesn't go back 60 years. It goes back 360 AD. 360 AD.
No, what I said was that, you know, like, say the 1900s, they still believed, a lot of them would have believed in a flat plane. And then they turned us into this ball for sure in the 60s.
Right. 1937, the first year Walt Disney came out into production, he actually has a cartoon, a full animated feature all about flat Earth. Now, don't you find that interesting? Walt Disney put out a feature film all about flat Earth during the 30s. Pretty neat. Sold it to you as a fantasy and put it away in their vault and never showed it again. But yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
all
then they
goes
carry
back-
on making really weird videos for our children.
Yeah, and we are the 60s. So people born in the 60s are going to be in their 60s, 50s, late 50s, and mid to early 60s now. So they're the grandparents. The parents, that's my generation. And then the children. Look at today's children, 3 generations in, after they flipped this shit, after the 60s, 3 generations in. Communists, Marxism, all of them. Stalin says, give me 3 generations and I'll destroy a nation. 3 generations. 60s, 80s, now. That's 30 years of the generation. So 60s, 90s, and today's generation. Look at the children. 5 years old, 4 years old. Gender neutral children. Gender neutral children. Boys that are dressing up halfway between girls and boys. Painting baby dolls and acting like girls. But it's okay because they're gender neutral and they're boys. They'll do what they want to do. Parents are raising their children to be neutral, but the boys are winding up like girls. And that's designed. It was done by design. It's gross. That ain't right. You look at all the toys that Walt Disney sells, they're sexual. You got little baby binky bottles and things that look like penises that they're selling to 4-year-old kids.
Just gonna put that in the wallet so you don't lose it.
Everything to do with Walt Disney is perverted. None of it's good. And people are hooked on it like crack. I can't wait to see the new Disney movie. It's crack. They're so mesmerized by it. Pixar animation and Walt Disney feed you the truth in the cartoons. If you're awake, go listen to some of them. Go watch some of those. Go watch Monsters, Inc. There's a great one. That's really what's going on. They're parasiting you, keeping you in a state of fear to extract energy from you. That's what that movie's all about. Go watch Monsters, Inc. again. It's all about these little devils scaring the crap out of children so they can capture their energy and run their city. Thanks, Walt Disney, for showing us the truth. They sell us the truth in the cartoons and the hogwash because they have no ability to create nothing. So they give you the lie as the truth and give you the truth as a lie. You don't know what to believe. And that's their whole plan in the first place, is to create a generalized state of confusion where nobody trusts anybody, nobody believes anything, everybody's in a state of fear or chaos, and they can control the outcome from that situation by making everybody emotional. People think it's trendy to steal from their friends, and it's disgusting. I watch people go downtown. You go down there one week, and this guy stole from that one, and they hate each other. Next week, they're at the bar drinking beer, and they're their best friends. They don't remember from one day to the next that they used to rob each other. And they laugh about it. They trend about it. They think it's funny to steal from each other. They have no morality because no one told them, no, that's not right. No one ever said, that's not right. Everybody turns a blind fucking eye and looks the other way every time something's being done wrong. They just, Just turn a blind eye. And the problems just keep getting bigger because we keep turning a blind eye. We don't want to see it. We don't want to accept it for the truth that it is and make the best decisions and come forward. And dogma is going to get mankind killed. Religion will get us all killed. Ego is going to kill everybody. Some Muslim is going to push a nuke, some president, somewhere. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a religious ego that gets the whole world killed over damn books that are half truth and half lie, and none of them are all the way right. Because they're being used as forms of method to control the masses. I don't read that much anymore. I don't trust books because I know what they are. I use them as guides. I use them as sources of information, but I don't fully trust any book. I trust my heart that's tuned to the truth. I know certain color codes can't be broken, so all truths will fit to that color code because that color code is uniform and it cannot be broken. Everything falls to it. All religions fall to it too. The color code is of the highest intention of this reality. That's what Thoth says. If you are looking for the truth, you will find it in the color of intention. You will not find it in religion. He's right. Absolutely right. None of my work comes from any Bible. It comes from all the books that they don't want you to read. It comes from Enoch, the work of Tesla, Pythagorean theory. All these are 4 different mathematical systems that are thousands of years old that we're not taught in a classroom anymore. And I'm dictated to as a criminal and a crazy guy because I know how to read and perform and work in these forms of mathematics. Because I taught myself. Over a lifetime, I taught myself how to understand this stuff. My choice. What I chose to trade my time for. Because that's what I said was worth my time. Not trinkets and things that the television was going to sell me and tell me what was worthwhile and not worthwhile. I know what my soul is, and that shit ain't worth what my soul is. None of it is. Every religion is a box, a cube to form you into. Rubik's Cube, Tesseract, Game Cube, Pandora's Box, boxing, fencing, balls on courts. It's fucking satanic. It's illusions and mockery. Oh, we're going to get the sheep, millions of sheep, to watch a bunch of grown men play with balls on courts. You know? Keep us in boxes. Xbox, GameCube, Nintendo 64. That's a cube. 64 cube. Everything is in this. Even in the Rubik's Cube. A crucifix is an unfolded cube. Star of David is a spinning cube. And Muslims are walking around one every day. So you tell me which cube to worship, and I'll call you a liar, because a cube is a form that is a result of a tool. It's not its own shape. It's action. It's squaring in. Circling in. It's not solid. It's not physical. That's why it's all farce and garbage. Absolute garbage. And if you're profiting, selling truth, then you're just as bad and you're a scumbag. You're not supposed to make money off of the word. You're not supposed to charge people for the word. You're not supposed to sell it to them. Charge them $150, $300 an hour for a reading. No. You're supposed to give freely of your time Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to give tithing to creation and creator. Tithing. Tithing is ebb and flow of current, of water. Your energy, your time. You don't want your fucking money. You don't want your collection plate. He doesn't want your man-made money. Discuss him. He don't want you sitting on a pew on Sunday. He wants you loving your neighbor, giving your time. That's what he ever asked for. He didn't want your money. Never did. He wanted your time. He wanted you to give time to your neighbor. Today, most people don't even know who their neighbor is, what their neighbor's name is. They couldn't even borrow a cup of sugar from their neighbor because they don't love their neighbor. They don't love themselves because they don't love their neighbor. Therefore, you're not doing anything right. You're not following any of the words of Christ. You're being selfish, and you're being a goat, and you're being a Satanist, and you're worshiping cannibals, Cain and Abel, cannibals. And cannibalism is a belief system. It's a religion to believe in, cannibalism. Sitting in your own shit, in your pew, eating flesh and drinking blood, symbolizing how holy are you? Nope. Not one bit. You're worshiping Satan. You're worshiping yourself because you're higher. And when they do that stuff, they're symbolizing that they're eating Christ's flesh. They're drinking Christ's blood. Because that's the closest they'll ever get to going to heaven. That's the closest they'll ever get. Was eating his flesh and drinking his blood. That's the closest they'll ever see heaven.
I always thought that this God thing, creator, conscious, whatever we call it now, was a love thing. It was not a control thing. It was never about control. And who says what God's got planned for you? Not man.
Right.
Creator. It's
Right. That's why you're supposed to trust your heart.
Yeah.
That's your prayer closet. That's your holy of holies. And go look at a picture of the human heart. Go Google a picture of the human heart. Go look at the aorta valves on top of the heart. You tell me that's not a crown. You tell me you weren't crowned and given a crown when you were born into this reality, made a king and a queen, just like the Bible tells you. Some things are real, but some things are taken seriously out of context and twisted for control purposes. And things were hidden inside of fish stories, just like Santos says, to hide physiology and Pythagorean theory and mathematical formulas that express this reality that we're living in. And if you don't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you won't. You will not. You will look at a verse and read it and read it and read it. And one day you'll find something in there. You go back to find it and it ain't there no more. That's living. It's consciousness. You're never going to find the same things. That's something I found out early. I found a verse one time and I was so amazed by this verse. I wanted to show it. I barely even remember parts of it, but it doesn't matter. What matters is I went to show somebody. I knew what page. I knew what line. I just couldn't remember the verse numbers. Went right to that page. Went right looking at that line. And what I had read, it wasn't there anymore. Because when you're reading out of want, your eyes will just see things that aren't even written in there. They'll see. Consciousness, spirit will show you things. Because you're in the right mindset. It ain't about being right. It ain't about being wrong. It ain't about yourself. It's about an understanding of what this place is. That's it. No ego, no personal opinions matter. Logic, reason, and truth. They are not feelings, they are not emotions, and they are not egos. Numbers don't lie. I've been saying that a long time. Numbers don't lie. And the funny thing is, you can even find out what people are lying about based on what's missing from the equation. You can figure out what they were trying to do in the first place. There's no joke. You can't hide your intentions. When you take away from the whole, what's left behind will reveal what you were trying to hide, will show what your intentions are. Without even being spoken to. You don't even have to ask. Numbers are amazing. They don't teach them right. They don't teach them as living. They don't teach them as spherical. They teach them as linear. They don't really teach them that they have shapes and expressions and sound vibrations. They don't teach sonic geometry. That's sonic geometry. Go on YouTube, investigate sonic geometry. Spend an hour and a half watching sonic geometry. It will change your life forever. That's Pythagorean theory at its finest, sonic geometry. It's just what they call it today. A way to hide the old things. They just rename things. Take away from the meaning or to hide the meaning of. That's why they do the things that they do. Keep renaming countries so they can hide the past. Just keep renaming places. Did you know that Britain used to be the capital district of Rome? Did you know that one, Karen? It used to be called Britannicus.
Right. Right.
Britannicus was the capital, was a district city of Rome. Britain, Britannicus was a district of Rome. It used to be called Britannicus. See, they changed names. They're just changing the names of things over and over. People forget the old names. They lose their history. They lose their culture. They lose their heritage.
That they just want to do this to us all the time, though. It's change everything.
It's their method. It's their method. Nihilism. There's only now. They don't want the history past. They don't want you to learn from the past. They want you to repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again and not learn and not grow.
So here's working against everything else then.
Enlil. Excuse me. Enlil is Enki's brother. Enki made us. Sorry. This is where it gets confusing. You start talking about the pyramids, the building blocks, where they came from, the quarry, where did they get all the blocks to build these great structures? Well, when you understand that the Grand Canyon is nothing more than a mining operation, a lot of things start making sense. That's a really big hole in the ground. That's a lot of rock that came out of there. That's where your rocks came from the pyramids. That was a rock quarry. It wasn't formed by water, it was dug out. That's a really big hole. And underneath the Grand Canyon, it's been discovered that there was a civilization that could have housed 50,000 people underneath the Grand Canyon, underneath the riverbed, underneath. There was a civil underground city, a citadel, housed 50,000 people. Egyptian artifacts, Hebrew scriptures, tombs to red-haired giants, blonde, red hair and blue eyes.
Ones that were they were the ones in the cities underground.
Yeah, and that underground citadel is dedicated to the tribe of Jacob, who's also known as Israel. Jacob is Israel with a Y, not an I. A-E-I-O-U, sometimes Y. So Israel was spelt with a Y, not an I. And Jesus is spelt with a Y, Yeshua, not a J hook. So then Judah becomes Judah, and Jerusalem is actually Yarusalim. Yarusalim. How about that one? That means city of God. Yarusalim. There's no J. Any word in your mind that you spell today with a J, remember spelling is magic. So whatever word you spell magic with a J, that just sound was spelled with a Y back then. They changed words and how they're spelled to change history, to create their own dogma, religion, culture. The Jews invented and narrated their own culture based around the letter J. Jesuits, Jews, Jerusalem, and Jesus. Take the J away, there's no Jerusalem, there's no Jesus, there's no Jews, and there's no Jesuits. They're all affiliated, hand in hand. Go watch. If you've never heard the Jesuit oath of office, you need to go YouTube it as soon as you get off this live feed. I don't care who you are. If you've never heard that, you need to go listen to that. The Jesuit oath of office. You listen to what they pledged themselves on and what they pledged to do to their enemies and the people that they think are less than them. Then you ask me, or then you come back and tell me that they are holy, that they are righteous, that they live in a state of love. You go listen to that Jesuit order. And you realize that Pope Francis is a Jesuit. Pope Francis of the Roman Catholic Church is a fucking black pope. He is a Jesuit pope. He is a Jesuit pope. Now go read and watch, investigate the Jesuit oath and realize the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church is a Jesuit. Okay? Go do that on your own time. And then right after that, you can then go and investigate unum sanctum. N-U-M, unum, sanctum, S-A-N-C-T-U-M, sanctum. There's a papal, an oath that was declared on the back of a small boy after they skinned him alive. And they printed on that papal It made a declaration in blood that they own the whole earth, and that church is the only living thing in existence, and everything else is corpses, corporations, corporate law, commerce and corporate trading, trading by sea, piracy, laws of water, navy, admiralty, currency. Are we catching on? Bail law, British Admiralty law, bail. Who do you call to get out of jail when they arrest you? See this? You see what's going on? They don't honor you. They don't acknowledge you as living. You're acknowledged as a corpse. So they don't have to hear you because they're a bar above you.
Now
They're
people
a
like
bar
you,
above you. You hear me? They're a bar
now
above
people
you.
like you have worked it out, right? What does it mean for you then, as you've broken the
They're
code?
probably gonna fucking kill me at some point. I really don't care because I don't play their game. I'm not gonna try to file out of it because their game don't matter to me because it don't exist in my mind because it's all bullshit. I'm fully aware of it. I called them out on it right now. Speaking it in existence. This is a public declaration. Does it matter to you?
Well, yeah, because we're trying to build a family, aren't we? We're trying to come together.
Right.
We're still alive.
By scrubbing out the shit. They lose it. Do you understand? Silence is consent. They're living in this little bubble thinking they're getting over on people. All of a sudden, every person in the world's pointing at them, calling thieves, liars, and rapists. They're going to fucking run. What moral high ground are they going to stand on ever? They have none. They don't have any ground over anything. So therefore, they have no jurisdiction over the land of anything. And their 660-foot water marker in DC or whatever nation, your little Egyptian pylons, because that's what they are, the metaphysical water markers, saying that they own everything that's up to this point. It's a water marker telling a ship, hey, don't go past this point. You're going to crash into a reef. The water's too low. Outside your jurisdiction. Don't swim here. But that Washington, D.C. monument, the obelisk there, it says we own 666 feet above sea level. That's an ancient water marker or a pylon for a dock, for a boat to tie a bearing to. So it can land so it can berth in the harbor. This is a game they're playing. It's disgusting. I laugh because I mastered the whole damn thing. Ain't got a damn thing on me. They can't do nothing to me. I could speak any one of them dead if they even bothered me. They don't come around. They mess with my feeds. They can't make me feel any kind of way about nothing.
Yeah, but we've got to bring each other together somehow, though, Matt.
That's on the people to do that. I'm just spewing the truth. I can't even get people to fucking share my shit. I mean, there's a few, but I got 5,000 people that follow me. And when I trend and check my comments and shares, if I got 5,000 followers, then getting 100 shares a day should be no problem.
Yeah, but we support you, don't we? We promote you.
I said, right, but look at the numbers. I'm not picking on you guys. I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying look at the numbers. I got 5,000 followers and less than 100 shares a day. Shares. I don't care if they like my shit or not. They don't share it because they don't care.
Mm.
5,000 people, 10% would be 500 shares. 10% of 5,000 is 500.
But you know what they do
I
to
don't
people
get that.
telling
I
the truth,
don't even
don't
get
you?
5%
You
shares.
don't even know if your is the correct amount on your YouTube, because it could be a lot more, but they've taken them off.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Everybody
They
knows they
took
mess around with
a lot of
YouTube.
my feeds down. I'm missing 10 videos on YouTube. I got one on how to grow gold. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I just don't care.
I've seen our stuff go missing as well.
I just don't care. And I laugh about it. They try to steal my stuff. But it's all memorized. I can reproduce it in 30, 40 minutes because I've done it too many times. It's repetitive programming into my head. I feel like a parrot. I really do. A lot of times I feel like a parrot. I send people videos because I don't want to say it. Because I've said it so many times, I don't want to say it. I'm like, listen to this link, then we'll continue this conversation. Stop right here.
Remember your heart,
Listen.
though, Matt. You've got to remember your heart in it all. You can't just you have to remember your heart. It can't just be.
Yeah, and people need to understand too. I'm a perfect product for this. They don't like hearing from a guy like me because a guy like me had a mother that said, I'm going grocery shopping. I'll be right back. I didn't see her for 13 years. No phone call. No, how are you? I didn't have a mother. Hi, I'm going grocery. I had an abandoned mother. I had a mother that dumped me.
I'm sorry.
So I'm full on aware of their game. Okay? I don't feel any kind of way about it. I'm going to tell exactly how it is now. I had a father that had 8 children, didn't have time for one of them. I
But
raised
look at the
myself.
knowledge you've got, Matt, and look where you are now, and we're proud of you.
Yeah, where's it gotten me? It's got me put in prison. It's got me laughed at. It's got me spit on.
Well, we're not laughing at you.
I've lost 3 houses over the stuff I speak. It hasn't gotten me anywhere. I'm not in a lab. I'm not running an institute. What has it gotten me? Nothing but headache. Regret for ever even opening my mouth. For those who know,
We're not
don't
laughing
speak.
at you.
That's what the oldest saying is. Those who know don't speak. Because no one cares. No one's going to do nothing about it. They're going to go on living their shit fucking lives, keep turning on the fucking TVs, keep sending their school children to the same schools, feeding their fucking kids with the same fucking poison, and the next generation is going to be worse. Because they consented by continuing it. Because they're not going to do nothing. Because they're fucking lazy. And they don't care. They like their Kim Kardashian. They like their fucking J-Lo and their devil worshiping music. They love eating processed fucking human meat in the fast food industry. They like their fucking GMOs. They like the fluoride in their water. They like the alkatrazine that made them turn homosexual. There wasn't a free will choice. They were chemically diluted into it. They have no idea. I don't even know if this will ever get through to their brains.
You did say something about the children of today or their mothers. Well, I was really controlled, right? I was still in ankle socks at 16. I didn't have a voice of my own. I just didn't realize it because you're only who you are with what you know, and that's how they brought me up. But I didn't do that with my own children. I let my children be who they wanted to be. And
That's dangerous too.
I wanted them,
That's dangerous.
to know who they were.
That's
So they could be themselves.
just as dangerous.
But it isn't. It isn't. People have to be themselves.
Right. But they don't even know what is right or wrong. It's your job to tell them what is right or wrong.
I did. But when they left home, I'm not responsible for them anymore. And
No,
they choose
that's right.
the path they take.
Yeah. You go into the wealthiest families, they got the most screwed up kids. You go into the poorest, most brokenest homes, you're going to find the smartest motherfuckers.
Anyway, maybe it's just that we're all on this
My
freak.
cousin Travis. My cousin
Maybe-
Travis.
Maybe it doesn't. I don't mean it doesn't matter, but I'm just using those words. It doesn't matter where you came from, who you are. It's all to do with this frequency you've got. Some of us have got it, and some of us don't seem to have it.
I've always seen. I never didn't see. I was attacked by demons when I was a little kid. Shapeshifter fucking things. Think it sounds crazy? I don't care. You don't know. You don't understand the manipulations. These things are real. They're peripheral. You think everything exists on the side of your eye? You're out of your mind. There's things that live on planes of existence that you don't even know exist because your eye can't see on that vibration. And your ear definitely can't hear there. It's your ego that thinks that the only thing that is existing is what you can see. Your religion. Heaven's inside of you. As Christ said. He didn't say it was above your head. Never once did he ever say kingdom of heaven was come out of the clouds. Blah, blah. No, he didn't. He said if heaven was up there, then the birds would go first. That's what he said.
But Jesus is something else, though, isn't it, really? Now we're realizing.
But when you understand it, quit the names, right? This is what I literally did for my own understanding of them things. Okay? I separated the word of the man from his name. Do you understand that? I looked at only what he actually was quoted as saying. See that? That's a good clue. I didn't get stuck in traditions. I lived along the lines of numbers. Because these contradictions, these number systems, you can't. That's how everything's built out of nothing, from nothing to something. This is how it's done. You take his words. You take him by his word. What he actually said. That's the trick in the middle. That's what they're not.
But is it what he said, though? Is it what these people said? How do we know?
Right.
I mean,
But
God,
quotations of Christ himself, Jesus or Yeshua, whatever you want to call him, he said, if heaven was up there, the birds would go first. But he says, I tell you that the kingdom of heaven is already inside you, and you will be the first to enter it. God's already in you.
There's a question for you, Matt. Caroline would like to know, what is the best case scenario for humanity then? Matt, stop laughing.
I'm sorry.
I have
sorry.
an answer.
I'm
I have
sorry.
an answer.
I'm trying to be serious. When people ask questions like that, I get laughed. I'm sorry. If ego wasn't in the way, and everybody could see there's some serious flaws and caveman issues with their religions, and it's a big pissing competition, and whose region is better than whose, East Coast versus West Coast. I'm going to kill you because your hair is curly, or red, or black, or white. You get that out of the way. And if you get down to the fact that everybody's made out of the same mitochondrial content, positive, negative, or neutral, red, blue, or yellow, You could probably get to the point where people could work together without money, without need of money. Because why would you want to profit off yourself when everybody's a you, EWE, YOU, everybody's you? Why would you want to profit off your neighbor when every neighbor's Adam and you're Adam too? So what do you need money for, Adam? You give me the answer for that one.
Do you think we could really go back to not having money anymore?
That's why I do what I do. That's my highest hope.
I mean, we need to bring it back to the humans are the most important thing, not the money.
I honestly don't understand why we have money.
The humans are the most
Really
important
don't.
thing. Humans, us, not the money.
When you understand the math the way I understand it, and you can see it the way I see it, you don't have a consumable good requirement to produce electricity. It's free. That's what Tesla said then, and that's what they buried then. I figured it out now. I'm telling you, there's no cost for electricity. They're lying. You can produce it without moving parts or consuming material goods, without any noise or fucking pollution. I can't tell you how angry this makes me. To realize and understand how far we truly have fallen in our understanding and be chemically devolved and turn into wallowing pigs sitting in our own shit. I can't tell you how fucking angry I am. Watching my mother break down because of the years of alcoholism and pills that have been shoved down her fucking throat. She can't remember one conversation to the next. She repeats herself so many times in a day. She's gone. That's because of doctors. Pill deal. Pharmaceutical industry. Every pill has fluoride in it. There's you go. There's your road. There's your lie. There's no cure in a pill. They're there to make you ill. Every pill has a fluoride binary agent. You won't hear that unless you're been inside in sales of insurance. I used to work for the sales insurance companies. I used to be a door-to-door underwriter. I come in and value your health. Yes or no, you were worth insuring or not worth insuring. What is this human life's value? I was very good at my job. Very good. If you're on 3 pills, 3.
When you wake up though, Matt,
If you're
or
taking,
when you see all this stuff, all that,
what,
everything,
I want to show the people something. You do not qualify for health insurance if you have 3 heart medications. Cholesterol pill is considered a heart medication. Blood pressure is considered a heart medication. And aspirin is considered a heart medication. If you're on 3 heart medications, you don't qualify for health insurance with a lot of companies. Because the pills you're taking, they won't qualify you. And it can be simple as that. A cholesterol pill, blood pressure pill, and an aspirin. 3 heart pills. You're out. You don't qualify. True story. They don't want their clients on pills. Because they know they're going out the door. Yeah, go ahead, Karen. That's I'm good. I just wanted to get that little bit out. What you want?
I've forgotten now.
I'm sorry. I didn't want. I didn't want to end there. I wanted them to hear that part about that.
Just
It's very
everything
important to understand.
something different. You know, like now you realise what it all means. Everything is different.
Yeah, for me it is. It's funny. It's a joke.
You know, like what
I
seems
recognize how
important,
fake everything is.
not important at all. They're just. I don't know how you get all the people to wake up though, because even people who are flat earthers aren't very nice either. Sorry, there's a
No,
lot
everybody
of
wants to argue. They're dickheads. Most of them. They're egos. A lot of them are smart guys, but they all want to be right. And that's the problem. Right there, they want to be right. That's how they went in looking. And because they went in looking that way, they're not right, they're wrong. Because that's the ego dictating terms in which way and what information they're going to look at. I mean, even listen to how I talk. I talk like a damn computer. Think about it. No emotion. I show you how to process things without being emotional. Emotions will get you fucking killed. You can have a heart attack because of yelling too much. You can be extra sad one day, go into your closet and get your antidepressant, your benzoprine, benzos, Klonopin, Xanax, Clorox, any of that crap. Take one. Take your medication. Oh, warning, this medication may cause you to have suicidal tendencies. So you're having an extra sad day and you take one of your prescription pills. But warning, this medication may cause you to fucking kill yourself, may cause you to have suicidal tendencies. I'm sure that's really healthy. Get the fuck out of here with that. Do you see how disgusting this is, Karen? Anybody gonna talk to me? Am I just running out of wall? I mean, gosh, I'm having an anxiety attack just thinking about the fact that we're in this fucking slave plantation and we're being farmed. It's an alien ant farm. You're the fucking ant. You're being farmed. And they're not aliens. They're demons. Alice Crawley told you today we call them demons. Tomorrow we call them something else. And something else is aliens. And Alice Crawley, that's George Bush's grandpappy, in case any of you were wondering. That's George Bush's granddaddy. He was a devil worshiper. And Prescott Bush, that's George Bush Sr.'s father. Anybody didn't know? He was tried for Nazi war crimes. The end of the World Wars. With Samuel Remington. Charged it for selling Hitler weapons and giving him finance. And Adolf Hitler is Lord Rothschild's grandson. Hillary's grandfather. Hillary Clinton's grandfather. And Angela Merkel's dad. Along that line, Merkel. Don't you think Angela Merkel and Hillary Clinton look an awful lot alike? Go put their two pictures up side by side. It's pretty fucking fun for me, but it's not fun. It's fuck crazy. That's why I got hair like this and it's fucking half gone. Fucking pulling my hair out. How do I wake people up out of their fucking chemical coma sleep? Our education system is indoctrination. Our history lines are pseudo. And our science is no bueno. It's no fucking good. It's pseudo. It's junk. Wake up. Why are they doing this? It's about money. Because we cannot use these energies with them in power. Because they control the dollar. And it's all about oil. The Saudi Arabian oil fields. And the Saudi Arabian control over oil. And the Saudi Arabian control over the national debt of the United States. Do your fucking research. You ain't done none. You ain't done enough. Not done enough. Bush family is directly related to the Saudis. You haven't done enough homework. Now we're making some fucking scary connections, aren't we? How come George Bush was reading I Pet Goat when 9/11 went down, right? He's reading I Pet Goat. That's fucking creepy shit. He's petting goats, reading that book to a bunch of kids in school, I Pet Goat. Being told fucking 9/11 went down, didn't even bat a fucking eye. He already knew. Fucking idiots, he already knew. Doesn't take a fucking brainiac to figure that out, does it? Didn't even make a face. He didn't even care. He already knew. That thing was planned to go down the day they built it. David Rockefeller did that. He planned that shit. He's standing on the cover of fucking Newsweek. Got his watch. Hey, look at my watch. It says 9/11. The day they opened that building. The day it went up. 1960s. They planned it then. They planned on blowing it up then. For all the fucking money, who got paid? Larry Silverstein? You got paid. Dick Cheney? You got fucking paid. For all the fucking money. It's stupid. It's disgusting. It's so simply out there, it's ridiculous. There's no plane that even hit the building. It's a holographic image. They fed you a pack of lies. They imploded that building from inside. They imploded it and dropped it on its face.